Frazier and Maestro styles, you know we got one. Right back like we left something. We don't duck smoke, we want all of it. So line them up, Trey sharp with the blade, you know we sizing it up. I'm quick to catch the fade, you know Styles making the cut. Cause we coming out clean every time that we showing up.
It's gonna be called The Barbershop.
What up, what up? Welcome back, y'all. It's a brand new episode of the Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. You are watching us live on our YouTube channel, on Twitch, on the Facebook page, on Twitter at Barbershop SPOR2, and on Instagram at Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in. Shout out to everybody that's going to be listening. It's your boy Trey Frazier in the house, and we got the homie Maestro Styles in the building.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, what's good, man? What's going on? How was your week?
Hey, man. My week was good, man. How about you?
Not great. from a sports perspective.
Not man, you still repping.
Not a great couple of days, man. Not a great couple of days, bro. Life is good though. Life is, life is good. Life is good, but my sports teams is they hate me right now.
They hate you? Do they hate their actions?
I don't know, bro. It's
I
wild,
would think
man.
I would think they would hate their actions. I mean, they lost.
Yeah. No, I get it. I get it. I mean, we'll talk about football and the rest of the NFL. I'm sure you want to talk about the Steelers getting another hard-fought win on Sunday, and the rest of week 3 is on the books. But just a quick shout out to everybody tuning in. Quick shout out to everybody listening on the audio side, Google Play, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Shout out to all those folks tuning in. Just a couple quick promos here real quick. Still got some of these hats left over here. We got the new era snapback hats, the gray with the black netting on it. $40 a piece, folks. If you guys are interested, just go ahead and hit that QR code if you are watching. Some really good hats right there. And then we got another one, the red, white, and blue joint for $35. Another snapback trucker hat, pretty good hat, I would say. Just again, if you're interested, there is the QR code. Go ahead and scan that, make your order. We'll get you one shipped out to you as soon as possible. So we got a few things, man. We do got a guest coming on tonight. Lexi Osborne is one half of the Kingdom's Queens podcast, which is one of the more team-centric podcasts that's been out for a couple of years right now. Obviously, they cover the Kansas City Chiefs. They cover the Chiefs for Arrowhead Addict, which is another platform that they got out there in Kansas City. And Lexi's been nice enough to kind of join us for a few minutes, which will be probably another 10 minutes from now, because they normally do their stuff around the time we do our stuff. So she's nice enough to come on with us for about 30 minutes to kind of chop it up. And, it's a big matchup coming up. Ravens, Chiefs, 4:25 on Sunday. Both teams coming in 1-2. The Chiefs got their own sets of issues. The Ravens got their own sets of issues. So, can't wait for her to get on and, kind of talk about the game and, what to expect and all that.
Hey, man, so let's take this opportunity, man, for you to kind of recap last night's game, man. 1-2, the Ravens lose to the Detroit Lions 38-30, I believe the score was.
Yep.
I'm not gonna lie to you, as I get older and up there in age, the idea of staying up for anything outside of money or sex is very hard for me. So I fell asleep at about halftime. But I'm sure you stayed up to watch the entirety of the game.
Of course I did. And if it was Pittsburgh, you would stay up for the entirety of the game, even if that game went off at 12 o'clock at midnight. Maybe.
Maybe.
Well, I mean, like you said, you're getting older in age, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. Maybe I
Yeah.
would, maybe I wouldn't. Maybe if the game was super exciting, if I had a little burst of energy for whatever reason, maybe. But
Your team?
on a normal day, if it is 12 o'clock, if it is 10:30, that game is going to watch me.
You wild boy.
I don't know what's
You
wild about
wilding.
that. I don't
No,
know what's wild
well,
about
that
that.
should your team. You wouldn't stay up for
Anything, anything. I don't
that
love
is
anything
crazy.
more. When your body says it's time, it's time.
Okay, I can respect that
Mm.
because God knows when the mind wants to do something, but the body says another thing. Then yeah, I totally get
And
that.
be clear, I am a morning person. I am not a night person. I am a morning person. Like
Well, then we are opposites because I am not a morning person.
yeah, I'm not a morning person. I'm sorry. I am definitely a morning person.
Because if I have to get up, knowing if I got to work from home, like tomorrow, I got to work from home, bro. I will be in that bed for as long as I can be until I absolutely have to jump on the computer and get to work. I am not a morning person for some reason. I've been more of a night person. I mean, I will stay up. My body will stay up until about 1 a.m. And that's not me watching TV or anything. It's just me doing other things around the house in addition to maybe watching the game or something like that.
Yeah, never.
But to this game, yeah, I think for me, I think this game was over for me 21-21. It was tied. And I mean, you look through the stats, up to that point, I mean, Detroit was kind of doing whatever they wanted to do on the ground. We had Matabike miss some time, and he's going to miss the Chiefs game, which is unfortunate. He's one of our best run stuffers, or he is the best run stuffer on this football team. So there was your reason for why Detroit was able to kind of do what they were doing on the ground. Kyle Van Noy, who was 35 years old and the best pass rusher on this team, which is a problem, by the way. And, this team just refuses to address the real issue on this defense, which is a legit pass rusher. So we kind of knew what we was going to get, man. Jared Goff stood back there. I mean, for the times that he dropped back, I mean, there was maybe a little pressure on him, but I mean, for the most part, bro, we couldn't do nothing up front, man. The trenches, their trenches, beat our trenches on both sides.
Yeah.
Offensive line, defensive line. Detroit gets the check. Offensive line, defensive line. We got whooped on both sides. I mean, I think that's where this particular game gets won and gets lost. On the Ravens side, on the L side, and Detroit, got the win for being physical. Um, I don't know how they're going to address this issue. We cannot rush the passer for shit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, God knows we got a bunch of cornerbacks back there. I mean, making a whole bunch of money, but we can't seem to invest in getting a legit pass rusher. But yeah, for me, it just comes down to the fact that, and the score 38-30 really doesn't indicate how badly the team got beat in the trenches on both offensive line and on defensive line.
Yeah, man. So let me ask you then, because last week's conversation, I think the overarching theme when we was previewing this game
Yeah.
was shout out to Jelani
Yep.
Wait a
Shout out to
minute
the homie.
show,
Shout out
and
to the
we was
homie.
talking about little brother, big dog, little dog, asserting that both of these teams attempting to assert
Big boy.
themselves as
Big.
a major player in talks of as far as Super Bowl aspirations go.
Mm-hmm.
So I get it. Week 3,
I was gonna say
regular,
too early to be.
well, no, we're not
You
gonna
know,
do that. We're not gonna do that though. Because
do what? To say it's too early?
To say it's too well, I didn't say too early for what though.
Too early to be talking about, is this a Super Bowl team? Is this
No, it's not
like,
too early for that because we projected this team to be a Super Bowl team long before the
or let
season
me
started.
say this. It's too early to just be like, okay, this team is not a Super Bowl team. I think
That's
it's
fair.
too early for that.
That's fair.
On both sides. Like if Detroit had lost this game, I don't think I'd be coming on here saying the Detroit Lions aren't a Super Bowl team. It's to me, it's just too early for that. I think you're in the category that you're in from the start of the season, and I think we need about 7-8 more weeks after this to really get a really good feel for who these teams are. Because I mean, we think we know what Detroit is, we believe we know what the Ravens are, but I mean, these teams in these leagues, man, sometimes they could have two separate seasons within one full season. Things change, turning points can happen, people get injured, trades happen. Like it's too early to be talking of removing teams from a Super Bowl conversation.
Is this team, the Baltimore Ravens, a big boy team in the league?
Yeah, they are.
Tell me about. I guess, and again, I'm just having a conversation. I'm not coming to no conclusion enough, and I'm we podcasting, right?
Yep.
What historically in the Lamar Jackson run, what would you consider and I'm not saying you don't have, I'm just asking you, what would you consider their signature wins in the Lamar Jackson era for the Baltimore
Ravens? Lamar
Ravens?
Jackson era, their signature wins. So you taking me back a few seasons.
Okay, well let's we don't have to go back to rookie year. Whenever in your mind the Baltimore Ravens was considered a Super Bowl contender team, tell me about their signature wins.
It has to be the his MVP season, the first season, 2019. Okay. I understand that folks were saying that they didn't really see this team coming along. I mean, we were a playoff team previously, but I think we kind of knew what the ceiling for that particular team was. It really was at best second round. We bowed out in the first round. That was Lamar playing half the games that year. So, but I mean, that year, that MVP year that you're talking about, the 49ers was a Super Bowl contender. As a matter of fact, they did go to the Super Bowl that year. We beat the 49ers that year. The Seahawks, while they probably weren't contenders for a Super Bowl per se, but they were still at that point one of the teams that you had to account for. Like, you knew who the Seahawks were at that time. We went into Seattle and beat that team. There were a lot of signature wins in that particular season during his MVP.
Well, I'm not asking you to tell me about every win from 2019 to present day. What I'm saying is what I'm getting at is that is it possible that we can start considering the Baltimore Ravens may not be who we thought they were?
It's too early for that.
Okay.
It's too early. Okay. I know people are going to overreact, and you hear a lot of stuff on radio, and you look on your phone on Twitter, and people are overreacting. Derrick Henry's got fumble issues all of a sudden. Is that a concern? Yeah, it's a concern because he vowed that he would clean it up from the Buffalo game, and then since then he had a fumble last week, which he didn't lose, and then he had the fumble, which sort of turned the game last night. So yeah, it's a concern. I understand why folks would have those inclinations, but I think we just got to see how this thing really plays out, at least for another 8 weeks in my book.
Understood.
But let me let's get the guest on
for sure. Pittsburgh Steelers are 2-1 on top of the division. I just want to make that be known.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Whatever.
Let's make that be known.
So let's step away for a minute here. Let's welcome our guest for this evening, Lexi Osborne, which is one half of the Kingdom's Queens podcast, which you can find on YouTube and other streaming platforms. Also a part of Arrowhead Addicts, which is another platform that they are currently on at the moment. So, Lexi, I appreciate you coming on. I know it's been a couple of years since we've been trying to get you and Jody, kind of together on, for these Raven Chiefs matchups. But, it's still good to get, one half of the Kingdom Queens in here. So I appreciate you for this time. I know you got some, you about to do a pod in a few minutes here. So let's kind of get you in here. So Lexi, first of all, thank you so much. How's everything and how's life been?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having us on, or me on, and wanting to have Jody and I on as well. I know we've been trying to make this happen, and I know schedules and life is just busy, but I'm glad we could make this one work. So thank you guys for having me. Life is good. Life is busy lately per usual, but yeah, it's good. I think both of us, all of us are probably like, what the hell are our teams doing at 1 and 2 right now? But
yeah,
well, not this one, not this one over here. We're 2 and 1. On top of our division in the AFC
Oh,
North.
okay. You're Steelers, all right.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
It's a family affair over here.
Gotcha. Okay.
Every week here. So, but talk about that for a second. Kansas City, they come into the season fresh off of a Super Bowl appearance. Lost the first 2 games. Chargers, Eagles. For the second time in a couple of games, and now you get your first win last week against the Giants, which I think, people like myself was kind of intrigued about that matchup. But deep down inside, I think everybody and their mama knew that the Giants really had no chance in this game. So so you get the first win. And what's the talk around Chiefs Kingdom right now, like involving this team?
Yeah. So Chiefs fans, it's been a ride. We've been spoiled for 7-ish years now, right? With Mahomes.
Yeah.
Not knowing a lot of adversity, I guess, in our records and wins and losses. And we've been blessed to experience a bunch of Super Bowls, which you guys both know as Ravens and Steelers fans how good those feel. But, Chiefs fans, it's been 50 years since we had our very first one, which I obviously was not around for. So
yeah.
I think to kind of have this new era and this new dynasty has been really exciting. But it comes with a lot of interesting things come with that. You get a lot of criticism. You get a lot of, oh, well, you're only winning because of the refs. You're only winning because of Taylor Swift. It's this, it's that, it's whatever. And I think, we were really blessed to see 3 Super Bowls in a row, because that is very, very rare that happens. And I think everything leading up to that, I think it just became, I think it was too much. I just think the pressure, I think everything collapsed in the Super Bowl on top of us. And it just didn't obviously go how we wanted it to go in any way, shape, or form. And then, we had a whole off season of not fun. And it was, oh, the Chiefs are over. The Chiefs are done. They're getting older. It's this and that. They're paying people, whatever.
Yeah, it's been like that for the past 3 off seasons. It feels
totally,
like.
Yeah, totally. And so you hear a lot of the same stuff, and I understand, like, the NFL has to keep things interesting. You don't want all the same teams all the time to be the ones in the run, all that kind of stuff. But I think as Chiefs fans, we expected our team to come out with a lot of fire in them after getting embarrassed like that in the Super Bowl. I think we expected them to come out like, oh, okay, like we have a lot to prove. And then we just, we're in Brazil for our first game, which I don't think that's really like an excuse, but I think we probably should have left a day sooner like the Chargers did. I think the Chiefs were really tired going into that game. And then against the Eagles, I think they got back into their own heads. I think the defense did a lot better, but I don't think the offense, I just think they needed to look better prepared. You knew you weren't going to have Rashid. You knew Xavier was going to be out. So that part. And then this past week, I think, if you didn't get on track versus the Giants, I think that's a huge, huge problem. But luckily we did. Looked a little more like the Chiefs. There's still plenty to work on, but I think it's a lot to build off of. So that's kind of what it's been. But the media discourse is always entertaining. That's for sure.
A question about the offensive line, and I'll let you go, Maestro. But just a quick question: how much is Joe Thuney missed in your opinion, through these 3 games?
I would say a good amount. I do like Josh Simmons a lot. I think we got really lucky with that pick at 32. We were able to trade back and still get him. I think he's showing a ton of promise at left tackle. So I think that's really, really great to see. We have Kingsley Suamataia at left guard now in place of Joe Thuney. So you have a guy who's in his second year and who's not going to be a future Hall of Famer at left guard, right? Or at least not as of yet. And Joe Thuney is just an unbelievably solid football player and just has been for years and years. So I think we knew we were going to miss him a little bit. And I think you're seeing that. I think you're seeing them having to adjust. I think our interior O-line is definitely seeing that too. I think you're even seeing it a bit with Creed and Trey there in the interior. Like, they don't have that help of Joe on the left side now. They're all having to adjust a little bit. So yeah, it's made a difference. But I do think the O-line will get it together eventually. We've played 3 really, really great D-lines in these first 3 weeks. So I think eventually we'll get it together. But it's a good wake up to the NFL for them, for sure.
So do you attribute these first 3 week struggles and I'll say 2.5 weeks, because I look like y'all kind of struggled with the Giants in the beginning, but you eventually put it together and pulled away. So do you attribute the team struggles essentially to playing good defensive lines, and or where else do you kind of see what's going on? I would say injuries obviously played a part.
Yeah. Injuries, I think, like first week, I think Xavier Worthy, from what I heard around the building and whatnot, is he was the biggest part of our offensive game plan. So they had to adjust 3 snaps in, and I think that's where you kind of saw they didn't adjust until halftime of the Chargers game. But I think what's frustrating is, the past 2 weeks, they keep saying they want to come out quick on offense. They want to start out quick. They've started out slow all 3 games, and they adjust at halftime. Right. They adjust at halftime. They look better at half, right? But it's the beginning stuff that it's weird. I'm not fully understanding what's happening. Our run game is really lacking, which is making a huge difference, because if you don't have the run game to stack the box there, you're not scaring anyone with that, right? And then you have your receivers who, I don't know, this is no offense, I love my wide receivers, but I don't know that Hollywood Brown's scaring anyone anymore. Yeah. Tyquan Thornton's starting to. He's starting to make his impact known. Travis Kelce isn't what he once was. He still has his good moments, but I just think you don't have anyone still that's putting any fear into any defense at the moment, except maybe Mahomes himself when he takes off and runs. He's our leading rusher at the moment.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
That seems like that's been the biggest threat offensively is when he takes off.
It literally is. That's it right now.
So do you question the offensive plan though? Because Isaiah Pacheco is no scrub, and it seems like and even in the Giants game where you heard people saying, well, we need to run the ball more. We need to run the ball more. I mean, do you feel like or clearly that's what's happening, but why do you feel like they're not focusing in on the running game in the 3 weeks?
Yeah, I think that's what every Chiefs fan is pretty upset with right now, is the offensive game plan and the play calling and just looking absolutely stupid out there. I think that's why you saw Travis Kelce get in Andy Reid's face last week, because he's like, what the hell are we doing?
With the bump this time.
The backwards pass. What? I mean, I can't tell you. I yelled at my TV all night long on Sunday, because I'm like, why are we throwing the ball backwards twice to Pacheco? What are these play calls? It looks sloppy. We look undisciplined. I know this team is capable of way more than what they're showing. I think Chiefs fans are struggling between blaming Matt Nagy and Andy Reid, because it's not really clear. I think you can kind of blame them both. Honestly, we've seen, since Matt Nagy took over 2 years ago, we've seen a lot of drop off and even how Mahomes plays and just how our offense works. But then, Andy Reid is the play caller. So I don't know who to fully blame, but it's kind of like a bunch of friends and no real guy to get in their faces and yell at them like we used to in Eric Bieniemy, he was a no BS kind of coach. Yeah, and I think we're kind of missing that. I think Matt Nagy's kind of just, I mean, I've met Matt Nagy. He's a great guy, but I think he's just everyone's buddy. I think he's just Mahomes' best friend. And I don't think he's getting that discipline that we kind of need. And, yeah, I think that's
Eric
where
Bieniemy is in college now, right? He's coaching.
I don't know if
in
he's.
college,
I don't
right?
even know if he's coaching at UCLA
no,
anymore.
he is the Chicago Bears running back coach right now.
Okay.
Ah, okay,
Yeah.
Okay.
okay.
So interesting, but yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't even know, like, I can't even say that Eric Bieniemy would be our solution right now, but we need someone that disciplines these guys and makes them take accountability. And yeah, I think that bleeds into your running game. I don't think they're fully trusting. I don't know if it's not even just Pacheco. It's the O-line that looks a little discombobulated. Like even Creed Humphrey, who I never have an issue with Creed. Even he had a missed block on like this run this past weekend against the Giants where Pacheco could have exploded through and then Creed just totally missed his block. And so it's just like little things like that where I think as the season goes, I think by November we'll be like, okay, we got this cleaned up. But yeah, early September, it's rough. We're seeing it's rough for sure.
So with the in the rest of the division, I mean, clearly you guys are the class. You guys have enough cachet to even look at your performance in the first 3 weeks in comparison to the Chargers and the Broncos, and still say, okay, we believe that the Chiefs are the favorites to win the division. But anybody with eyes can look at the Chargers and look at the Denver Broncos and say it's reasonable to expect that these teams are trending upward and could challenge the Chiefs at bare minimum, and at best be better than the Chiefs this year. To that you say what?
Yeah, I think for sure with the Chargers, I think they came out on a mission and they are proving that so far. Their schedule is pretty fair, so they don't have a ton of hard games coming up. So I think there's a good chance they can win. And we've said it for years and years during the Mahomes eras. Oh, it's the Chargers year next year. It's the Chargers year. I think this is the time that they could actually maybe get us. The Broncos, I think, were the offseason darlings this year. I do think their defense is talented. I'll give them that. I think their offense is just, I don't know what to make of it so far. It hasn't
I think it's regressed a little bit. I think there's something about it where it's just like, okay, like where's that next step that we're trying to see from Bo Nix? Like we don't see that yet.
No, and I think Bo Nix had a very impressive first season for sure. I will give him that. But I think, you're seeing a bit of the sophomore slump with him. I think kind of like you saw with CJ Stroud. I think it's kind of similar to that. Just
right.
And who knows with him this year. But
and I think with Denver too, especially these past 2 losses that Denver suffered, I think it's those situational football moments that are costing them these games. You look at their game against the Colts last week where, the guy touches the center as they're, going up for the field goal.
Yeah.
And it's an untimed down and the Colts kick that field goal and they win by 1 point. And then last week against the Chargers, they're up by a touchdown and the defense, which has been the stronger unit, they give up that late, touchdown and the Chargers tie it up. And so I think where and it kind of all comes back to Kansas City, because this is the one thing you're going to get from the Chiefs year in and year out, even when the offense doesn't look that great. Situationally, football decisions and, late game tactics and stuff, I'm still giving the edge to Kansas City over any of these other teams, because I think Denver's in that situation where they're still trying to get there. They got the talent, but situationally making decisions in the clutch, they're not there yet. And I think Kansas City has that edge over all these teams in the division.
That's right. And I totally agree with that. And I think they have the experience, and I think they might be off to a slower start. But I genuinely do think once we get Rashee Rice back, I think once you get some of these guys back on offense, and you kind of have now, as much as I hate injury and I hate suspension, though it was warranted, he, is paying the price for his own actions. But as much as I hate all that stuff, I think you're getting to see now Mahomes has time to develop with Hollywood and Tyquan, which Tyquan's been like the unsung hero these first few weeks of like making plays and getting open. And he's been a big, big, pleasant surprise to all of us. So I think now that you have him you can trust, as well as when you get Rashee back and you get Xavier back and all that kind of stuff, I think it'll totally open up the offense. And I think you're going to see a totally different team in a few weeks here. But we just got to, win a few of these next games and get through this time, and then I think you're kind of going to get back to Chiefs football. And it gives our O-line time to grow. But we started off with a gauntlet. I know the Ravens did too. So
yeah,
it's a fun time.
All right, go ahead, Maestro.
I was going to say, let's talk about next game. Let's
right.
Let's get straight to it then. I mean, Chiefs versus Ravens, and look, I guess a lot like last week, and I know you weren't here last week, Lex, but it seems like another litmus test between two teams that, I mean, and obviously we know that the Chiefs have the pedigree, they have the Super Bowls, et cetera, but I mean, this is certainly a litmus test of is this the team that we have expected them, that they've been in the past? Is this still that team? And I think a lot with the Baltimore Ravens, they're trying to prove, no, you guys are not that team anymore, and that we are the team. Obviously, Buffalo somewhere in that puzzle, but they're all fighting to dethrone the Kansas City Chiefs, if you will. I guess I'll start with Trey. It's early, and look, we won't do the whole, we just got finished doing this with Detroit last week, so I'm not sitting here saying win or lose, the Chiefs aren't Super Bowl contenders or the Baltimore Ravens aren't Super Bowl contenders, but it absolutely does start to build on your season with you having not a monumental loss, but a key loss to the Detroit Lions, and Lex, you guys having a key loss to the Eagles and really the Chargers as well. So I guess. How do you continue the path, I guess, of dethroning the king from the Baltimore Ravens perspective?
Well, one thing I mentioned last week is that for as much as this organization loves to hang its hat on the defensive side of the ball, you go back to the 2000 Ravens, you go back to all those great defenses, and when you think of this franchise, you think defense. I don't think they quite understand 100% fully that the best unit on this team right now is the offensive side of the ball. For 2 weeks so far out of these 3 weeks, they have taken the ball out of Lamar Jackson's hands to go out and win the game. You can't punt. In these situations, you can't let the offense punt and give it back to the defense. The defense right now is not a good unit right now. So, and I'm joking around with folks on Twitter, Ravens fans, and they're saying, hey, watch the Chiefs get right against this defense. The Chiefs might put 30 points up on this defense the way this defense has been going. Yeah. And it's like, you're joking, but at the end of the day, the way we've been playing, lack of pass rush, we got guys that's out. We got our best run stuffer gonna miss the Chiefs game. We got Kyle Van Noy, who's our best pass rusher at 35 years old, gonna miss the game. We are very thin in that front seven. So would it surprise me that this game ends up being a 35-38 game? No, it would not surprise me one bit. It wouldn't surprise me one bit.
Yeah, Or go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say I'll ask you the same or a similar question, I guess. How do you stay on the throne? And again, this is just another step of we are still the creme de la creme of the AFC. How do you stay there? And a win would definitely kind of quiet the critics, obviously.
Yeah, I do think the Chiefs for sure need an AFC win because we lost. I mean, we only played one other AFC team, which is the Chargers, but that's a division loss, and that's brutal. You guys did beat the Browns, so you do have that at least for your division sake.
And the Detroit loss doesn't hurt as bad in terms of AFC and NFC. Right. Buffalo hurts more than Detroit.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, the Buffalo one. That's true.
Especially,
and I fully expect the Bills to get the 1 seed this year because of their schedule is unbelievably easy. I don't even see a loss for them in the near future. So
I do, but it's okay.
With that being said, and the Bills look good, I'll give it to them. They look good, but I think it remains to be seen what the Chiefs' full capabilities are this season. I don't think you're going to see that still for another few weeks. I think it'll be a good game. I don't see it being in the 30s just because I think our defense historically against the Ravens, your Lamar-led Ravens offense has been very good.
Yeah.
Spags has been very good against game planning against Lamar. That's no knock to Lamar. Lamar is fantastic. And I mean, you guys almost beat us in the home opener last year, but of course a toe got you there, you know, but we had a lot of dumb luck last year too. But I think if Worthy's back this week, which we're expecting, I do think our offense is going to open up a little bit more. I know you guys struggled with him a little bit in the home opener last year, which it is the home opener, but I mean,
not a little bit, by the way.
What's that?
I said not a little bit, by the way. They struggled with
a lot of it, yeah. And I think yesterday we saw there's a lot of flaws right now in the Ravens defense, and you're not that scary defense you've been in the past, and you have a lot of great names, and I do think it can be put together throughout the season. I don't know that this is going to be that week for your defense, but I also don't know that this will be that week for our offense either, I think.
Right.
Our offense has to actually come out fast and actually score points and not just kick field goals, because that's not going to win you a lot of these games. However, I take a lot of the season with a grain of salt in September, and I actually wish, you know what I realized is we play the Ravens always early on in the season. Like, I would love to play you guys in like week 10 or 11 when our teams are more foreign.
They love the Buffalo Kansas City rivalry a lot more than they do the Ravens Kansas City rivalry.
But that's because you guys got to get a few more wins on us, I will say. So I don't think that's out of the question. I think it's going to be I think the biggest game deciders for us is going to be Spags defense versus your offense, and our kind of poorly run offense versus your poorly run defense so far. Yeah. So I think it has potential to be a very interesting game. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to see. Our run game has struggled. You guys have clearly struggled to defend the run. Yep. We've kind of struggled to defend the run. I know Derrick Henry probably wants to get his get back after yesterday in the first few weeks.
Yep.
I don't know. It'll be a great game. I know that. But I think it'll be probably like a 2-3 point decider. I don't think it's going to be any blowout either.
A field goal. Yeah, like a field goal type of a game. All I know is this. My son's soccer game is at 5:00 Monday afternoon. So I will be missing I'll definitely be missing the first half of the game. Gotcha. But by the time I get home, I'm probably jumping into like the mid third quarter, end of the third quarter type thing. So it's nice to clear my head from, Ravens football for a little bit, because, I'm trying to pay attention to what he's doing in the game and, trying to watch the game on my phone. Like that's not good for my health. So I think I'd rather focus on one thing, and I'd rather focus on the soccer game. So, but like you said, it's going to be, I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a good game. It's one of those, litmus tests for both teams. I do think, just kind of looking back at the first 3 weeks, we played some pretty good teams. We've lost to some pretty good teams.
Most of us, right.
Yeah. I mean, shame on me to be like, oh, there's no shame in losing to these teams. I mean, I don't care. Like, I want to beat these teams. Like,
because you guys are Super Bowl contending. I mean, Super Bowl contending teams. So, in order to stay in those conversations, you got to beat the good teams when you guys as two teams are in that conversation. So again, it's early. All the proverbial things that you would say in September. But when you got aspirations and those are attainable aspirations, these are gut punch losses that you got to go into the locker room and kind of reassess and and recalibrate for certain.
And whoever, honestly, for both of our teams' narratives, because I really, what's funny about the Ravens is I don't really have a ton of beef with y'all, except that we're always in contention and it's always a fun battle. I love both of our quarterbacks. I think Lamar is a blast to watch, But I hope for both of our sake, it's not a blowout on either side, so that the media is not insanely gnarly to whoever loses this week. Because it's not going to be fun for either team. Whoever loses, it's going to be a brutal week.
Yeah. I think whether it's a 3-point loss,
whatever. But we both know that that's really not the case. But.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, whether it's a 3-point loss or whether it's a blowout loss, it's not going to be good for whoever loses. Period. I mean, I think the thing that the Ravens kind of have going for themselves is you look around the AFC North, we know Cleveland is going to Cleveland. Cincinnati, they lost Joe Burrow for it feels like the entire year, and we saw what happened against the Vikings last week. And I don't think that's the real Cincinnati, but I do think they're going to struggle to put points up on the board without Joe Burrow. So, I mean, there's one team that's left, and it's his Steelers. Off to a good start, beat
Not
the
really,
teams
but
that
we
you're supposed to beat.
Yeah.
Beat the teams that you're supposed to beat. You're supposed to beat the Jets. You're supposed to beat the Patriots. Seattle, that
We
one.
should have. I ain't gonna say we should have won, but we shit the bed. It wasn't, we shit the bed.
I will say the Steelers defense has thrown me for a loop the first few weeks too.
We are absolute trash right now, and I mean absolute trash. And I will.
As many players as you have all over that defense.
We're expensive for no reason right now. At this stage of the game, I'm starting to look at Terrell Austin, our coordinator, to try to it's something there that we're missing. I don't know what it is yet. What I know for a fact is that every team has scored 30 points outside of the Patriots, and we've been ran on in every single game for the most part.
And I'll be honest with you, the Patriots gave that one up to you.
Exactly. Yeah. We probably lose that game if not for them being a young team making mistakes. So I am not happy.
You guys play the Vikings, right? In Dublin?
Yeah, and all I can hope is
it's a backup quarterback, man. I mean, y'all schedule of backup quarterbacks is crazy.
I'm not excited. I'm not, I'm happy to be winning. I'm hoping that the Chiefs blow out the Ravens. I want them to blow out the Ravens. Yeah, I'm hoping that they smoke the Ravens.
I don't think
I want all them. Sure,
it's not gonna happen.
I don't think so, but I would love it to happen. I would love them to be on the bad side of media. That works for me every week of the NFL season. That works for me. So but on the Steelers side, we're not good. And let's be clear. I didn't come in with a whole lot of expectations. I'm going to be the unobjective fan when it's time to be the unobjective fan. But if we're talking right this second, we're not good right now. And maybe it's a scheme of things we just need to kind of gel. But right now, I'm not happy. Yeah, I'm not happy at 2-1.
Because them games against those types of teams are coming up on the schedule. So
these aren't we're struggling with mid teams. So I know what's going to happen with good teams,
right?
If y'all don't rectify the situation,
though, like with the AFC, I still feel like it's still the same kind of top teams. You're not seeing like the Colts could be a surprise this year, and that's maybe about it. The Texans do not look good. The Chargers look good. The Broncos, I think, remain to be. I don't know what's up with their offense. The AFC East is an entire joke.
Right.
Your guys' division, obviously, the Browns aren't going to do much. The Bengals aren't going to do anything without Joe Burrow. So I think it's a lot of the same. I think you guys will probably still be in the playoffs for the
Pittsburgh
Steelers.
is probably most likely still going to make it.
Do you make it past the wild card? I don't know.
And that's all the conversation has been all season. Can Aaron Rodgers get his one game in the playoffs? Not to go on a Steelers rabbit hole. I didn't want Aaron Rodgers. I would have preferred to go get a young guy and develop. He's only going to be here for 1 year. We know
Justin
what
Fields.
He is.
We signed Justin Fields.
That's where I stood. I wanted to re-sign Justin Fields.
Yeah.
And that didn't happen
for y'all. And then you had to and it just.
And that was a mistake, by the way.
Yeah.
I am. Hindsight 2020. That was a mistake. I think Justin Fields he didn't help the situation, but it was definitely a mistake. He didn't help the situation though. He just didn't stretch the field at all. And that's why they put Russell Wilson in. And but I digress. Steelers will be a playoff team, and if that's good enough for Steelers fan base, sure. But that doesn't excite me at this stage of the game. That doesn't excite me.
Understandable.
Any
So I got-
any teams? You said the Colts. I heard you say the Colts. Any other teams impress you, or 3 weeks in the AFC? Any teams you looking out for?
No, and like I said, there's so much parity in the like September, early October that I take a lot of it with a grain of salt.
Me too.
Yeah.
So, you're going to have your storylines. Oh, the Chiefs and the Ravens are done. They're 1-2, but
Yeah. The Bills are going undefeated
Bills
with the
are going to the
schedule.
Super Bowl. Yeah. No, I think there's a lot to be seen. I think, the Colts are early and impressive, but I think there's some tape that can be out there that eventually could be figured out. I'm trying to think if I'm forgetting. Maybe the Jaguars.
I was just about to say,
Right.
Jacksonville
They're
sneakily are
I
good.
kind of like what they have going. Like, they're kind of fun to watch. They have a lot of weapons on offense.
They could be undefeated if they didn't give up, that touchdown to Jake Browning. They could be undefeated right now.
Right.
But I think the team is good. I still don't like Trevor Lawrence and how he's been playing.
He's just too inconsistent, and I'm not a Trevor hater. It's too inconsistent. I don't know what to expect.
Overpaid.
To week basis. So, there's a lot of unknown in the NFL right now. I don't.
Yeah, and a lot of injuries too, like a lot of major injuries too, like with the running backs and the teams that came out a little bit on fire, like with the Cardinals. They started out 2-0 when they lose James Conner for the year.
Yeah, that's
and now that kind of dampers on what they're trying to do.
Hate that for them. I do think the NFC is stronger right now, team-wise.
I agree.
Quarterbacks, definitely AFC. But I think it's a lot of the same. I think the Chargers are going to be better for sure. I will give them that, and we'll just see who can continue the success. I'm
putting my money on the Chargers. I'm putting my money on the Chargers.
Yeah, no, I got you. I'm with you too. But the Colts do kind of intrigue me. I need to see what the schedule. I need to see what the rest of their schedule is like because they've played some soft teams.
Yeah, we play them. Let's see,
That's right. They got the Chiefs.
We play them week 12, so that'll be a fun one.
Yeah, for
sure.
We'll
probably know that the Colts aren't good. I hate to be pessimistic about the Colts. Shout out to my man. But I'm sorry, Daniel Jones. I get and shout out to Daniel Jones because he's playing good football.
I know.
Shout out to him. He deserves his credit. I just don't think this is going to be a season-long thing. I just don't feel that way.
But it's a winnable division.
And Jonathan Taylor looked good. Jonathan Taylor, the offensive line. Yeah. So that's true. But
however, the Chiefs historically struggle with the Colts, even in the Mahomes era. We don't play well against them, so I don't know. We do have them at home though, but whenever we go there and play, we lose. So
I remember that.
Lex, I know you was here for a good time, but not a long time. So, Trey, if you don't have any more questions for Lex, go ahead, Lex, and let us know. Let the people know.
I do, by the way.
You do? I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Because I wanted to get this out, and I've been watching the time to try to make sure she gets out of here quickly. But
I'll be
your top 5 Chiefs players of all time. You've been a fan of the team for a long time. So, who's your top 5?
All right, so I do have my top 5 for you. Kind of in a particular order, I guess. I'll go 5, Lenny Dawson. Got to put him on there.
Yeah,
he's just the OG. Got us our first goal, obviously before my time.
Yep.
Was blessed to meet him as a kid because my parents used to own a custom closet company. They did his closets. We went to his house. That whole thing.
Wow.
That was cool.
Wow.
Yeah, super nice guy, him and his wife. Yeah,
Yeah.
Great people, great in our community. So absolutely Len Dawson. 4, I'm gonna have Derek Thomas because he's just fantastic. He was kind of in my very young years of life that I remember kind of watching Chiefs football, but he's just, oh man, his whole story, everything. It's just everything came to an end way too soon, of course. But I love Derek Thomas.
Rest in peace.
He was just rest in peace. He was, an absolute terrorizer out there. So much fun to watch. So Derek Thomas at 4. 3 is actually the man who really got me into football when I was like in middle school, that kind of era of my life, was Dante Hall. Dante Hall.
Love
Interesting. Interesting.
I know. So I give him that credit because that's watching him kind of really got me more into football and like into the actual sport of it, and paying more attention to the games. Because, you know, I was a girl, I was young, I wasn't, you know, my dad had me watching with him at like 6 weeks old, but you know, it took a bit for me to get more interested. And gotcha. Dante Hall was that guy. So
that's what's up. I like that.
Yeah, the human joystick, he was a lot of fun. So with an honorable mention to Jamal Charles, because you just got through.
For sure.
Of course, yeah.
Number 2 and number 1 are probably going to be pretty obvious, but how can I not? It's Travis Kelce, then Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. No surprise there.
No surprise at all.
And in regard to the running backs, though.
Unbelievable.
In regard to the running backs, your team, your franchise might have the best collection of running backs.
I know. Yeah. You have Priest Holmes.
Larry Johnson.
Larry Johnson. We have a lot of. I don't know. We've had a lot of fun talent on the Chiefs. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure. No doubt.
You know, it's like I could even pick some O linemen. I mean, there's some different guys out there that have been a lot of fun to watch. But top 5, I had to narrow it down.
Top 5, you had to narrow.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I'm with you.
Even we have Joe Alt on the Chargers now. We had his dad on our team, and he was a fantastic tackle for the Chiefs, John Alt.
John Alt, yep.
So he's in our Chiefs Hall of Fame. He was one of my favorites too back in the day. Tony Gonzalez. I mean, there's
obviously, Oh yeah.
I used to have Tony Gonzalez bobblehead, you know, when I was, you know, so like, there's a lot of fun guys. Had to narrow it down to the 5.
The Chiefs have had some exciting players over the years.
We have.
Like even if they didn't pan out to anything toward the back end of their career, like what's the kid? Dexter McCluster, when he first came out. He was one of the more exciting players on special teams, but then it really didn't pan out.
Do you remember Niles Davis? Oh, yeah. Dwayne Bowe.
Dwayne Bowe, yep.
I mean, hell, we had Tyreek Hill.
That seemed like such a distant memory. Tyreek Hill.
I know.
I might get him back.
I could even throw in Chris Jones. Chris Jones has been unbelievable for us. So
Tamba Hali, another player.
Tamba, love him.
Derek.
Who am I trying to think? Derek Johnson was fantastic.
Yep. Derek Johnson.
Willie Roaf, such a beast. O-line.
Willie Roaf. No. I remember Willie Roaf. I remember more the Saints days. Yeah.
He played for us too, though.
Yep.
Hey, Lexi, this was dope. Again, we appreciate. Yeah, no, absolutely. We appreciate your time.
Hey, listen, if any of us meet in the playoffs, maybe we'll have you on Kingdom's Queens or something.
Let's do it.
That would be dope. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
That certainly would be dope. Just let everybody know where they can find you at on social media, and to just kind of talk about what you guys got coming up.
Yeah, so you can find me. My @ is in here. If you're listening, it's at Lexi Osborne on Twitter, at Kingdom's Queens on Twitter, and then The Kingdom's Queens on Instagram, Apple, Spotify, all that kind of good stuff, and YouTube as well. We go live every Tuesday and Wednesday night. We do a show at 7 p.m. Central. Our Wednesday night show is through Arrowhead Addict, who they have a lot of other fun shows as well. Just a lot of great ball talk, a lot of good honest ball talk too. Not a lot of trolling, just a lot of good honest ball talk. So it's a lot of fun. And my co-host Jody, you can find her at It's Jody Newsome. She is awesome as well, and we are about to go live. We're about to go live here tonight as well. So I'm sorry she couldn't make it. She wishes she could have been here too, but she just got off work like 15 minutes ago. So
all good. We've had Jody on. We've had Jody on in the past, and she's a great welcome and stuff. So
she is.
Y'all always welcome to come back anytime.
We're just working and trying to make some progress out here as women in sports. So it's fun.
What's up.
No doubt.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
for sure.
No problem at all. We appreciate the time, and best of luck moving forward, and congrats again on the success of the
Thank you so much.
podcast because I
Yeah.
mean, it must be dope to have local news people call you out to,
Yeah.
talk about the Chiefs and all that stuff. So that's pretty dope.
It's been very cool, and we're trying to figure out with one of our local news stations wanted to have us on for like the Red Friday show and all that kind of stuff. So we're definitely growing.
Nice.
It's been very cool, very rewarding. So I never thought I would ever be doing a podcast like this, and here I am 4 years later. So
Nice.
pretty crazy,
Nice.
but life's crazy.
Yep. Nice. Nice.
Salute, for sure.
Salute that.
All right.
Well, we will see you in the internet streets and have a good show. We know you get ready to go on, so have a good show.
All right. Thank you guys. Talk soon.
All right. Yes,
all right.
Bye.
All right. Yep. That was some dope conversation right there. Lexi Osborne, one half of the Kingdom's Queens podcast, which you can find on YouTube and all your other streaming platforms. And yeah, man, some good stuff right there. Again, shout out to Jody, who's been on, a couple of times with us in the past, and good to try to get her on as well. It's been a few years since the AFC title game between the Chiefs and the Ravens. Have been trying to get them on both collectively at the same time. Since then, fortunate to get just her, but yeah, it was a dope conversation this evening, man. So I don't know how much you want to get into Pittsburgh and the win.
I mean, look, man, a win is a win. The motto is the same. A win is a win. In the words of Mike Tomlin, I'm paraphrasing. Obviously, it's good to be learning and getting better and still getting wins as it goes by. But we got a lot of shit to improve on.
It was ugly, boy.
we are trash right now. It ain't
the MVP of that game is Ramondre Stevenson.
We are, and don't forget Gibson. Gibson had one too. So
that's the Gibson that got cut from the Jets, right?
Yes.
Gibson.
Okay. I to be honest with you, I wasn't sure. To be honest with you.
Okay. Because he got cut because of the mistake he made against
Pittsburgh, right?
Against Pittsburgh, and then he was on the street. Patriots pick him up, and here he is in the game against Pittsburgh again, and he makes another mistake. So that's wild. That's wild.
So I was I had the luxury, I guess, of listening to Scott Zolak announce the game Sunday.
He's a former quarterback.
Right?
Former
Patriots quarterback, right? So I was been unpacking and stuff in the apartment, so I found that I was feeling experimental, and I listened to the game on the radio broadcast Sunday, and they be on there cussing. And, I mean, they don't be out there saying, like motherfucker, bitch or nothing, but they be on there cussing. I was like, Scott Zolak was like really giving it up. Like he was
that's a bullshit call, like that type of
not that far, bullshit call, but he was definitely like this is crazy and they're wrong, and it wasn't like. When you watch the TV broadcast, they're more objective. Even if it's a blatantly bad call or something like that, they'll just be like, we disagree, or I can't see how they saw it that way. Like Scott Zolak.
But it's different because Zolak is the Patriots play-by-play,
right. So I guess they're allowed to be more fans on radio.
Exactly.
I don't listen to radio, so
he's the Patriots guy. He's not.
I know that. I know. I intentionally listened to the Patriots broadcast as opposed to the Steelers broadcast because I wanted to see, hear some of the stuff they was talking about. Yeah. Look, man. Like I said, a win is a win. A win is a win. I'll take a win every week until we win a Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? And if the defense was trash all year and we got wins and up into a Super Bowl. Then that it is what it is. But we are a trash defense right now. That's it, and that's all. 119 rush yards, which is not. Is a lot, but it's not a lot in comparison to what's happened with the Jets. So, you know what I'm saying. So, but still a terrible game. I feel like. Let's be clear, man. But if there were 2 less turnovers in this game, we still lose this game, even though we won the turnover margin. We are not a good team right now on offense or defense. The running game is non-existent. Jalen Warren, I love Jalen Warren as a running back. He has not proven to be a starting running back so far. I know the
Yep.
offensive line does have something to do with it, so I'm
Yep.
not putting the blame completely on Jalen Warren. But right now, he is not looking super good. Hey, Steelers, Caleb Johnson messed up last week on special teams. I get it. I don't think that meant cut his offensive snaps, and he already wasn't getting a bunch of offensive snaps. I would love to see this Sunday against Minnesota, Caleb Johnson getting somewhere between 5 to 10 touches of the football, just to try to provide something different from what we've been seeing in the running game. We need something different. Minnesota is going to be a tough team. We need something different. But right now, I am not happy with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm happy that we're 2-1. I'm happy we're on top of the division, all the proverbial things, but we are not playing good football right now. And I'm not going to sit here and act like that this display that we put on the field is win a playoff game worthy. It's not. We look like absolute trash.
It's funny you say that. Because I'm looking at a guy like Keaton Mitchell, our running back. He's been inactive for 3 straight weeks, and the fan base has been trying to figure out, why is this dude inactive? Like, is he in the doghouse? What's going on here? Because I'm thinking about it just from the running back position perspective. Derrick Henry has fumbled every game this season so far. He's lost 2 fumbles, 2 crucial ones, because those fumbles changed, the complexity of both of the losses that they suffered. And I'm looking at the staff like, you need to rotate these backs. And I understand it sounds crazy and disrespectful to Derrick Henry to say that.
It does.
But if this is going to be a trend now where he's coughing up the ball in these moments, and I'm not saying bench Derrick Henry, that's not where I'm going with this, but I think you need to incorporate some more of these running backs into this offense.
Because he's fumbling. But I'm stopping you because it's important to stop you. In those key moments that we're speaking about where he fumbled the ball, you're proposing that they put in Keegan Mitchell?
I'm saying the offense needs to be a little bit more dynamic. Yes, we're putting the points. I get that stuff. Last night there was about 3 or 4 drives where we just got stalled. What the Lions did, they basically said, look, we just gonna rush 3 or 4 guys, and we're going to keep a spy for Lamar, and we're just going to let all of our DBs and some linebackers just kind of drop back and just cover these receivers. And I just think the run game, you have to incorporate some of these running backs into the passing game a little bit. Like make some passes out of the flat. Get these guys on the run. Hit these guys, because Keaton Mitchell has got some speed to him.
But you also know Derrick Henry does that, like top tier. He's a top tier.
He hasn't done that in these games. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. That's not his fault,
but that's play calling, though. Yes.
Well, yes. I'm alluding to some of that. But Keaton Mitchell, he can make guys miss, like out of the backfield. In a short passing game, he can make guys miss. I don't know that Derrick Henry at this stage of his career is going to do that consistently for you.
Hey, I think you're overreacting, Trey. Because let's not forget that he had 2, maybe 3 major runs against Buffalo week 1.
Sure.
Yes, he fumbled against important.
And I'm not saying this as a punishment. I'm not bringing up the Keaton Mitchell conversation as a punishment towards Derrick Henry. I'm saying this dude doesn't need to be on the inactive list every week. Like, this dude needs to get on the field at some point.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
He needs to get on the field at some point.
No, I hear what you're saying. Okay, but it sounded like, if you're not saying that, then I hear you. But it sounded like you were saying that because you mentioned the Derrick Henry fumbles, and then you mentioned Keegan Mitchell right after it. So I'm thinking you're saying because let's be clear, if Keegan Mitchell is healthy and there's not some reason that he's being made inactive, but then there's a reason that you don't know about, that he's being made that he's a healthy scratch. There's a reason. I don't know what the reason is.
There's a reason. I don't like.
What's the reason?
If I think it's this, if I think it's because he's in the doghouse, then it's a silly ass reason for him.
Why would he be in the doghouse?
Huh?
Why would he be in the doghouse? I'm asking because I don't know.
Well, because that's been a thing. Harbaugh has. They always talk about Harbaugh's doghouse. Like, if you don't do something in practice, right, or if you don't do something in a game, like, you'll be on an inactive list. Or even if you're not on an inactive list, you might be on the 53-man, but you won't see much playing time.
So there's nothing you've heard that would have.
No. It's nothing. It's nothing I've heard. Okay. But I just want to know, because the year that he tore his ACL, he was getting burned. He was burning DBs. He was on the field. He's fast, and he got hurt. He got the ACL repaired. He came back a little bit last year. I just want to get an explanation of why this dude is on the inactive list.
Okay, I thought he got hurt. I thought he got hurt again this past year. That's what I thought. But maybe I'm yeah. Okay.
I mean, if it might have been minor, it might have been something minor. It wasn't like season-ending stuff. It might have been something minor, but it wasn't nothing to where he had to rehab the entire offseason.
Is he playing? So you prefer it to be Derrick Henry, Keegan Mitchell, and Justin? Because I see Hill is clearly getting touches.
Hill is getting some touches. That kid Rasheen Ali, who's on special teams for the most part, he was getting a couple touches here and there. But Rasheen Ali is, to me, Ali is more the guy that needs to be on special teams. Keegan Mitchell should be the third back. Keegan. Yeah, Keaton Mitchell should be the third back on this team.
Okay, I mean,
and we're not seeing that, and
you think that's the difference in what happened? I'm asking.
I'm not saying that that's the difference in what happened. I'm just saying, to make a point. Hey, this dude has been on an inactive list for 3 weeks. At some point, I think as you get into the season, because look, Derrick Henry had, if not for Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry had one of the greatest, seasons as a running back. 1,900, rushing yards, right, at age 30, right? So, do we think he's doing that again? I don't think he's doing that again.
No, but it's reasonable to think he's running for 1,300 yards, regardless of Keaton Mitchell gets a touch or not.
It's reasonable to think that he's going to get 1,100 yards rushing. I would say it's reasonable that he can get 1,100 yards.
I think you're shortchanging him.
Well, I mean, he hasn't run the ball all that well. I mean, through these first few games. I mean, he's busted out some runs, but I mean,
did he have 170 yards against Buffalo?
Against Buffalo, he had a good game, but last week against Cleveland, which has got a great front, he didn't do all that much in that game. And then last night, he had the one touchdown run, but that was really about it. I mean, he got stuffed for the most part. So, we're gonna be going up against these front lines, man. How
many carries did he have?
I don't know the numbers in terms of carries. I was
going to say, because we also know history or trends tell us that Derrick Henry needs to have 20 touches in order for the So if he's not getting the production or the attempts that he needs to be productive.
And part of that was what Detroit did last night, because what Detroit did was, time of possession. They ran the ball on us. I'm thinking of 2 drives where Stout, punted. We had him inside the 5, 2 times. And in both of those drives, they went 95 yards on us for their touchdown. So Detroit was able to limit some of our offensive possessions as well. So that attributes to why Derrick Henry didn't get, 20 touches last night.
Were you guys ever down by 10 points?
We were down by, we were. It was,
okay,
toward the end of the game.
Again,
it was toward the end of the game, but that really doesn't mean anything when the other team is possessing the ball for 2/3 of the game.
Well, the best way to keep the offense off the field from getting those types of time of possession, those possessions, is running the ball yourself. And we acting like let's say for some reason they were stopping Derrick Henry. Lamar Jackson is the best running quarterback in the league right now. So I don't know.
It's Mahomes, but go off.
Man, cut that shit out. We ain't talking about stats.
Mahomes is leading. He's leading the league in rushing from a quarterback.
Lamar
spot.
Jackson is the best rushing quarterback in the league. I don't give a fuck what them stats say. He's the best rushing quarterback in the league. So with that, we all know
ain't playing like it right now.
Are we going to sit here and sure? Are we going? Do you disagree that?
You act like I'm telling lies here.
Do you disagree that Lamar Jackson is not? Is Lamar?
That's
Jackson
not what I said.
Okay,
that's not what I said.
Well, then we know. So then we know whether he's quote unquote performing that way or not. That we're just a play call or a scheme away from getting him right back in his zone.
Sure.
It just seems that they're not trying to let him do that. That's what it seems like. It seems like that they're not letting him do that.
I'll say
how many more quarterback run plays have been drawn in the past 3 weeks as opposed to what trends would suggest that they should do to be successful?
Yeah, no, sure.
And if the goal is to get Derrick Henry going and you can't do it with the passing game, then the other obvious way is the best running quarterback in the league right now to start running the ball more. So now, oh shit, quarterback RPO. Oh shit, we got to worry about both of them and let's make something happen. It would appear.
Yeah, sure.
It would appear that there is a lack of RPO that's going on. And if there's a lack of RPO going on, then defenses don't have to worry about both Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. And let's be clear, by hook or crook, somebody should be dominating the run game for the Baltimore Ravens because the quarterback can run for 100 yards a game and more, and the running back can.
Sure. What you're saying is you're generally speaking all those things, but in particularly to last night's game, that was not the case.
I know you don't know the exact numbers.
Yeah.
But how much of those carries in your guesstimation was RPO?
Oh, they weren't at all. But
right. So when let's
be clear. We was killing the Lions in the passing game. So as long as you killing them in the passing game, I'm not as super worried about the lack of RPO. I mean, will they change it up? Could they have changed it up to more RPO in the second half? Sure, of course. But I wasn't complaining about it because they was killing the Lions in the passing game.
Yeah, but when you also recognize that they had 2 95-yard drives, that means that the defense needs to be sat down, and we need to keep them off the field. So, yes, you're scoring with the Detroit Lions. I understand that. But also, the goal is to keep the Detroit offense off the field because they're clearly scoring just as much as our offense is scoring. Sure. So scheme-wise, I would think, this is the couch coach in me would say to me, oh, shit, they just had a 95-yard drive for however many minutes. We need to get long drives, not obviously scoring drives, but we need long scoring drives and not just scoring drives because we can't stop the run. We can't get this offense off the field. So the best way to keep the offense off the field is to keep our offense on the field. And clearly that didn't happen. And clearly, I ain't gonna say clearly. Again, maybe I watch the replay, maybe I won't. Probably won't. but it would appear that maybe they should have been maybe focusing on establishing the run more, and not just handing the ball to Derrick Henry, because if that wasn't working, then clearly we needed to give them something else to think about.
Derrick
And y'all
Henry
got,
had Derrick Henry had 12 carries for 50 yards
that's
rushing.
bullshit. And so that means they was at a 4-yard per carry clip.
Yeah,
That's bullshit, and that's bullshit.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
So fuck the passing game. So if I'm a Baltimore Ravens,
I can't rock with that. Nah,
if I'm a Baltimore Ravens
bro,
fan,
nah.
if I'm a Baltimore Ravens,
he threw 10.7 yards a pass, bro. Nah, I can't just say it like that,
and that's good, except for the fact you can't stop the offense. So it was clear early, Detroit was doing what they wanted offensively.
Yeah.
So the only way, I guess maybe you hope at some point the defense tightens up and stops the offense. But me and you know, because you started your diatribe this podcast saying the Ravens need to understand that their best asset is their offense. So in order to use your,
but I said that in the context of when it gets down to crunch time and when you need a money play, you got to keep the ball in your offense's hands. I'm just saying it in that context. I'm not talking about from the first quarter to the fourth quarter.
So in the first quarter, you're saying that the offense, the Baltimore defense is better than the Baltimore offense?
That's not what I said. That's not what I said. I said that's not what I said.
Okay.
I said the offense is the better unit on this football team, but I'm saying it in the context of, hey, we need to win this game. We don't need you to punt. We don't need you punting to the other team. We don't need the defense back on the field to try to get a stop to seal the win. Like, we don't need that. We lost 2 games. We lost 2 games because we decided, hey, let's put the game in the defense's hands. Like, that's what I mean by, hey, the offense is the better unit. Not so much that, from what they do from quarter 1 through quarter 4. Like, that's not what I was referring to.
Okay, so my next question is, and I understand that point.
Yeah.
So my next question and what I was trying to say was, first quarter through fourth quarter, regardless of the context, who is the better unit?
The offense.
Exactly.
There's no debate about that. There's no debate.
All right. Yeah. So the context don't really matter. The point is that the game plan of the Baltimore Ravens with the best opportunity to win games is to keep the offense on the field and the defense off the field.
Sure.
So 10.7 per pass is cute and it's fine, but that leads to shorter drives.
Sure.
And so that also leads to more possessions for the opposite team's offense. Sure. And when the opposite team's offense is doing what they want with the defense, it would be in the Ravens' best interest to keep their defense off the field by running the ball. Right. So it's nice. It's nice. So I'm going back to my original point.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry having 12 carries in a game when he was averaging 4 yards a carry is bullshit, and that's and it's the intangible reason. From my vantage point, that's the very intangible reason that y'all lost that game is because y'all didn't use your bread and butter of your team, not just your offense. The bread and butter for the Baltimore Ravens team is the run game. So to only have 12 carries from your best running back, I gotta assume it was only like 6 to 8 carries for Justice Hill. So that's about 20 carries.
You want to know no other running back rushed the ball in this game for the
That Ravens. Is ridiculous. And we are talking about everything.
But it goes back to me saying, where the hell is Keaton Mitchell and why is this dude on the inactive list?
I don't give a damn.
It goes back to that.
I don't give a damn whether Keegan Mitchell played or didn't. Justice Hill didn't get a carry.
Okay, sure.
Derrick, how many carries did Lamar Jackson get?
I mean, you want to talk design runs or just him just happen to? I mean, 7,
No,
but
just so
7.
so,
But
so
you got to
19.
assume half of that was design stuff. You got to assume half of that
I don't.
was
Yeah, sure.
design.
19. We don't have to do the. We don't have to go that deep into the statistics. 19 rushing attempts for the Baltimore Ravens is a terrible recipe to expect them to win. That's a terrible recipe. So I don't give a damn about if I'm a. So again, to my point, if I was a Baltimore Ravens fan, I'd be pissed if I looked at the stat sheet and saw that the entire Baltimore Ravens offense only had 19 rushing attempts.
Yeah,
I don't give a damn how good they was throwing the ball against the Detroit Lions.
I agree with that, but when the other team is dictating the tempo, then
they're not dictating the tempo. You didn't even meet your goal.
Detroit scored first. Detroit scored first. They had
so that means they
had three drives where they killed us about 10 minutes per drive, bro. Like, what are we talking about here?
So you're saying that because they had a long drive, we shouldn't return and attempt to get a long drive?
I didn't say that.
So what are you saying?
And nor did I say that they didn't try to run the ball. They didn't
try to run the ball. They only had 19 attempts.
They tried to run the ball. They just got stopped, bro. They
How
got stopped.
Stopped if he had a 4-yard average.
You think? I mean, what's 4 is good? Like for Derrick Henry standards, 4 is good.
No. 4 is good for NFL average.
Yeah, but we got Derrick Henry. We got Derrick Henry. Like
so the average running back. If you ran, that's a good average, Trey. I don't give a fuck who the running back was.
He had a long run of what was that? What yardage was that? I think he ran for 20 something yards for the touchdown.
Sure,
everything else was.
If you want a minutia,
and that was the first touchdown we scored.
If you want to semantics that's cool, but
But don't you think that matters? Don't you think that context don't matter no more? Like what are we saying here?
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that 12 carries is not enough for Derrick Henry.
I agree.
If you agree with me, then what are we arguing?
I agree, but you over here saying that you over here talking about the 10 yards a clip from Lamar Jackson, like that's not good. Like
I never said that.
You did. You just
no, I didn't. I never said that. When did I tell you? Rewind the tape when I said average at 10 point. I said that should not be what they should be doing to win football games because their strength is running the ball. I never said that wasn't a good average.
Sure, but in a game like last night, they had to do that.
No, they didn't, and clearly they didn't work because they lost the game. They didn't have to do that. You said they decided to start throwing the ball because the Lions had a long drive. That makes absolutely no sense.
That's not even.
Why did they start throwing the ball?
Because the Lions secondary stinks. That's why.
But
that's why.
Okay, but they're like you could say that, and that could be true. But the truth of the matter is that no matter how bad.
What's the best unit on that Lions defense? What's the best unit on that Lions defense?
The best unit on that Lions defense is defensive line.
Yep. Exactly. So
you're telling me that if you gave Derrick Henry his proper amount of carries, that he wouldn't have been able to break nothing. You had way more confidence in the Ravens passing game over the Ravens running game.
In a game like last night. In a game like last night.
Yes.
Again, we're not.
Just answer that. Yes or no. Yes or no.
No, it's not just a yes or no.
Yes,
because you're generalizing something.
No, I'm not.
I'm trying to stick to last night's game. Last night played out the way it played out.
So am I.
I'm sure
doing the same thing. I'm just asking you. It don't matter who they play, but we can make it specific to the Detroit Lions if you like. You're saying they had.
We have to.
You're saying they had a better chance to win the game throwing the ball against the Detroit Lions than they had against running the ball. That's what you're saying?
In last night's game, yes.
That's what I just said. Okay.
In last night's game, yes.
That's your opinion. Say less. Y'all lost. Y'all lost that way.
Okay, sure. I mean, look,
y'all lost that way.
Teams go by their bread and butter and lose all the time. Like
that's not y'all bread and butter. That's not y'all bread and butter. That's not y'all bread and butter.
But I didn't say that was.
You said teams go about their bread and butter and lose all the time. That's what you just said.
Yes, but I'm not talking about the Ravens specifically. Come
but
on,
we're talking about the Ravens. Here. But we're talking about the Ravens. The conversation is about the Ravens.
But that statement was just a general statement, bro.
So how are you making a general statement when we're having a specific conversation?
All right, you know what? You're about to piss me off, bro.
No, get mad. Get mad. That makes no sense.
What makes no sense?
What makes no sense from a team philosophy perspective is to go against your bread and butter when you haven't given them an opportunity, when you haven't given your bread and butter an opportunity to work. 12 carries, we know statistics say you punched it in my head last year. Statistics say if Derrick Henry doesn't get 20 carries, they lose the game.
Okay. He went on that long touchdown run. That was the first drive of the Ravens.
You are going to totally ignore what I just said.
Huh?
You are going to totally ignore what I just said.
Because I don't think you watched this game last night.
I didn't. So, but the statistics not say if that you lose the game more so than you win the game when Derrick Henry has less than 20 carries. Is that a fact or not?
More times than not, yes.
Okay,
I agree with that. Yes.
So is it safe to assume that the bread and butter of the Baltimore Ravens is Derrick Henry getting 20 carries?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so
I never said that. I never said that.
Okay, so I'm going somewhere. Let me cook. I'm going somewhere. Go ahead. If you don't give the opportunity for your bread and butter of your offense to work, is it a high probability that you may lose the game?
Sure, the other team has something to do with that also.
Obviously, but I'm talking about a team and their bread and butter and their philosophy. If you don't follow what your philosophy is, there's a high probability that you would lose the game.
Yes.
If Derrick Henry, he got 12 carries, and out of those 12 carries, he got a 20-yard run, an explosive play that went for a touchdown.
Right.
So we're leaving
on the first drive of the game, by the way. On the first Ravens offensive drive, by the way.
So is it plausible to say that he could burst another explosive play in 8 carries?
That's not crazy. It's not
crazy to assume, right?
No, it's not crazy.
And you guys lost by 8. You guys lost by 8 points. And also, if these are first downs, that's time of possession that keeps Detroit off the field. The Detroit offense that you couldn't stop all night.
Sure.
All I'm saying is, and we can move on. All I'm saying is that I disagree with your premise that because the Detroit secondary was soft, that means we don't need to feed Derrick Henry appropriately. That's what I disagree with.
Okay, even if we're scoring touchdowns, I could see your point if we're torching the secondary, but we don't get in the end zone. We don't get no points. We're kicking field goals. We don't score touchdowns. I could see your point then.
But
I could see your point. But we was throwing the ball and we were scoring touchdowns. So at that point in the game, it was 14-14 at the half. Going into the third quarter, it was 21-21. It's like, okay, they haven't been able to run the ball, but they in a situation, they got a tie game. It's 21-21. And then all it takes for a couple crazy things to happen, and now you got to switch your whole offensive game plan up, or you got to make certain changes and whatnot. So, if you ask me, I was okay with the passing game because they were scoring touchdowns.
And the last thing I'll say, I'll leave it there. But Baltimore doing their bread and butter, which is running the ball, also eats up time of possession. That gives Detroit less possessions to score touchdowns.
For sure.
So if they have less possessions,
we got beat in our own game. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Well,
we got beat in our own game.
But y'all didn't even play your own game. That's what I'm saying. Y'all didn't even play your own game. Y'all own game is time of possession, and y'all didn't give your running back the carries to create time of possession deficiency with the Detroit Lions.
Sure.
You just didn't.
What they saw was our run game get stuffed, and they saw we was being successful in the passing game, and we were scoring with them.
Okay.
And they decided, hey, right now, this is what's working.
Okay.
You're right. Generally speaking, you are right. 12 touches is not enough for him. Generally speaking, you are right.
But you feel like that was enough in this Detroit Lions game. That's what I'm asking.
But in this particular game, with the score what it was and the
that was
enough what it was, it was enough. If Derrick Henry don't fumble, if Derrick Henry doesn't fumble, and that was what was the score? That was a 28-24 score right there in the fourth quarter. We gave him a carry. We gave him a carry when it was 28-24 in the fourth quarter.
Hi, man.
But you get mad when I bring up the actual facts.
I'm not mad. I'm not mad at it at all. You're saying so. What you're implying is that we should stop giving Derrick Henry carries in that game because he fumbled the ball.
That's not what I said.
No, I said what you're implying is.
No,
I didn't say you said that. I said what you're implying.
But how did you get that idea? How did you get that implemented? How did you get that?
Okay, are you ready for me to answer?
Go ahead.
You said this is what you said out of your mouth. What you said out of your mouth is with the carry we gave him, he fumbled. How do I not imply that is a fact? But that's also an implication. That is also an implication that we tried to give him a chance to run the ball, and look what he did with it. We should have kept throwing.
I don't know. That's not the implication.
Okay. So what did you mean when you said we gave him a carry and he fumbled? What were you saying? That is a fact. But what was your point in mentioning that? My
point in saying that is what they did from quarter one through that point in the game. I was cool with that.
And then
that's all I was saying.
Okay, bro. Like you are literally saying what I'm saying.
Huh?
You are literally saying what I'm saying. We don't have to stretch a conversation, bro.
Which is what?
You're saying that because you're saying the throwing game, the passing game was working throughout the game. Right. Yes? Through quarter one through quarter three.
Right.
Not feeding Derrick Henry, it was working. And then late in the game, you decided, let me deviate or mix it up and give Derrick Henry a carry. When we gave him that carry, as opposed to throwing the ball, he fumbled and turned the ball over. The implication is that why would I give Derrick Henry the carry and let him run the ball when the passing game was working? Look what he did when we tried to mix it up.
No.
Okay, then tell me what the hell you meant by we gave Derrick Henry a carry and he fumbled the ball.
I'm just telling you the sequence of what happened.
And I understand that. I understand what you're saying.
Like there's nothing underlying about that.
Okay, no, there is something underlying about that. There is something underlying about that because if there was nothing underlying about it, then to your credit, I mean to your summation, they should have thrown the ball. They shouldn't have gave him. Why did you mention what you said? Okay, Trey, you got to stop. What you said to me verbatim was we gave him a carry and look what he did with it. He fumbled the ball. That's a fact. That is what happened. But when you say that after I'm saying we need to give him carries, or y'all need to give him carries, you replied with
my point was that they didn't give up on the run game. That was my point. They didn't completely give up on running the ball. Was my point. But clearly,
sure, okay. Well, then that is a terrible point because clearly they gave up on the run game. If he only had 12 carries throughout the entire game,
but I'm talking about at that particular point in the game.
But that means they never invested in the running game to begin with, Trey. They never. You said they never. So
I'm just talking about.
You just said two things, then, Trey.
But I'm just talking about that point in the game. I don't care about the first quarter, second quarter. I'm talking strictly when it's 28-24.
We got to move on because you are saying bullshit right now.
How is it bullshit? How is it bullshit?
The whole conversation about this game
Right.
was, do we agree? Allow me to try to put this make a microcosm of this. You're saying that that you agree with them being pass heavy in this game versus being run heavy in this game.
I was fine with
No.
because they was listen. I was fine with it because they were scoring.
Okay.
Now if they weren't scoring, then I'd be pissed off.
Okay.
And obviously we would have been blown out we would have been way out of this game early if we didn't score.
I understand your point. I understand your point. What I am contesting is that regardless of you were scoring on every passing drive or not, the goal should have been by halftime because we saw what was going on. They were throwing at will. They were scoring just like y'all were scoring.
Right.
Your defense could not stop their offense. Now, I understand on the other flip side, their defense couldn't stop your offense, but what we're talking about is how to win a football game. Sure. So how do we win a football game when the defense can't stop the offense is to keep the offense on the field.
Right.
Do we disagree?
Right. No, we don't disagree.
Okay, stop. Let me finish. Let me cook because I didn't finish my whole point. So, regardless of how you're scoring, if you scored 30 points running the ball and kept the Detroit Lions off the field for an extra possession, is it safe to say you would have won the game?
Yeah. I mean,
I would
feel good about it.
Just statistically, right? Statistically, if you run the ball, you would control time of possession. If you control time of possession, then Detroit offense is not on the field.
That's any game.
So I can't understand. So all I'm saying, again, to my beginning point is that regardless if they were scoring points or not, you were still putting the offense on the field. And y'all couldn't stop them. So why would you continue to put your defense in a bad situation where they can't stop the offense when your bread and butter is the run offense? Why would you do that? Because you kept scoring points? You was going to score points regardless. And you would have took possessions away from the offense you couldn't stop.
All right.
Thank you. Let's just move on, bro, because what you're saying is crazy. We just disagree. But that's crazy that we disagree.
No, but I think where my disagreement is that you're looking at this game and you're trying to generalize.
No, I'm not. I keep saying the Detroit Lions. I'm not generalizing. I'm saying run it because the strength of the Baltimore Ravens is running the ball, whether it's against the Detroit Lions or the Arizona Pickaninnies, it would take a possession away from that team's offense. And if that team is not on the offense is not on the field to score, then they can't score. Sure. So it would behoove the Baltimore Ravens, who their strength, let's be clear, their strength on the entire team is run offense. Sure. So why not do that and chew up clock?
And Detroit did a great job of stopping our run game. Like
what I'm saying in rebuttal to that comment that you keep making is that y'all didn't give that offense enough time to try to break a run.
And my response to that is because they were scoring in the passing game.
That's not a good enough reason
to do that.
That's not a good enough reason if your game plan is to control time of possession. That's not a good enough reason.
And look, maybe at that point they threw the game plan out. Like
that's stupid. That's stupid. That's the facts. If you can agree with everything I'm saying and say that they decided to throw the game plan out because they were scoring points, that's stupid because you can score points and control time of possession with your strength.
Yes, you can. But if the other team is stopping your run game, then
you went right back to the point that I just tried to tell you. There's not a move. You didn't give your offense an opportunity to run the ball properly, and 4 yards a carry is a good average.
Sure, you keep
saying they're stopping the run. They were not stopping the run. You just didn't give them the ball enough.
Right, and to my response to that, where you say we didn't give them the ball enough, I'm gonna go back to 28-24.
All right, man. All right, bro.
And
when he fumbled the ball,
but you still gave him a attempt to run the ball, right?
Now you just said,
isn't that trying to get?
Hey, bro.
Oh, okay, you don't have to like what I'm saying here, but it's the facts, bro. You don't have to like what I'm just said here. It's the facts, bro.
Hey, bro.
That's the part. But that's the part I'm getting pissed off about.
But you just said that they didn't give him carry. They gave him that carry to mix it up, and that because they were trying to control time of possession.
So you don't think they could have been trying to control time of possession at that point?
They weren't, because they didn't even run the ball 20 times in the game.
Right. So
they were never trying to control time of possession.
Right. So okay. You know what?
Yeah, but just move on, Trey. You're wrong.
No, I'm right. Okay, I'm right. You just don't understand me. You just don't understand what I'm saying. That's all that is.
Clip this. I don't give a fuck how long this video take. Clip this whole shit up. Clip this whole shit up. Because you sound crazy saying.
How is that crazy? How is that crazy?
Because you know statistically, and we almost had 2 hours talking about some shit that's stupid.
Yeah, that's your fault. But
no, that's absolutely your fault.
No, because you don't understand what I'm saying. I'm just trying to get to a point where you understand.
Can you allow me to regurgitate? Can you allow me to tell you what you're saying to make sure I understand what you're saying? Can you allow that?
Go ahead.
You stressed out, bro. I'm not stressed out. I just know I'm right.
Go ahead.
Okay.
No, I just think you trying to piss me. I think you're just trying to piss me off.
No. Okay. What I'm saying, you're saying that because the secondary of the Detroit Lions is not their strong suit, that they decided that they were going to throw the ball, and because they were scoring points, they were successful in scoring points. Is that the point that you were trying to drive home?
Yeah, and then I was fine with that, and
that you were okay with that.
Yeah.
So I am right in what I understood you saying. Yes.
Right, and right, okay. and that's not a crazy thing to think when you see a team attack another team's weakness.
Okay, I just want to establish one thing. Okay, I just want to establish that I do understand what you're saying to me. Do you understand that I understand what you're saying to me? Okay. Now that we can rule out I'm not listening to you. I heard you. Can we agree?
Okay, go ahead.
I heard you. Okay. You felt you're not mad at that. Now my rebuttal is that's stupid, because why the fuck, when statistics say you run the ball 20 times and plus you win the game, why would you not run the ball 20 plus more times? That's a stupid. So I heard you. Acknowledge that 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 I heard you.
So can I ask a question?
No, but can you acknowledge that I heard you first?
So, but I just did. You asked that the first time.
But okay, go ahead.
I have a question to what you just said there.
I'm ready.
Because you just said that's stupid. You said it's stupid. So in my head, so now I'm taking that and I'm receiving that as, so wait, are you saying that it's stupid to not attack a team's weakness? Is that what you're trying to say there?
No, what I'm saying is
because that's what they did.
Okay, I understand that. And what I'm saying is stupid. What I'm saying is, okay, let me be more clear. Yes, that's stupid to not attack their weakness when you know you can't stop their offense from scoring either. That's stupid.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think
that's stupid.
Sure, but when do they realize that in the game though? Also, like I think it gets to a point
when did you realize
where you realize
When did you realize it?
Oh, I realized it in the third quarter. In the third quarter, I realized
that. So that means how many more possessions did they have from third to fourth quarter?
I don't know about the possessions part, but it was a 21-21 ball game.
Are you confident? How many out of 19 carries do you think they ran the ball 10 times in the third and fourth quarter?
No, they didn't. No, they didn't run enough.
That's what I'm saying, Trey. That shit is stupid. It's stupid.
Okay, but I think where I disagree is where you say it's stupid. I think that's that. I think we
clearly disagree there. We clearly disagree there. No, but I know we disagree there. That's why we're arguing for an hour. I know we disagree.
No. I disagree that it's stupid. You're saying it's stupid that they had this little amount of run of carries up until that point in the game. I don't like it to be that way, but I understand. But I understand why it was that way.
I'm saying
I wouldn't say it was stupid. I would
Okay.
just say, hey, this was how the game played. They were successful in the past game to keep up with the Lions. It was a 21-21 ball game. At that point, the run game was non-existent, but they was throwing the ball. And look, at that point, you just want to win the game at that point. I just disagree that it's stupid that they didn't give Derrick Henry enough carries. I would say it's stupid if we didn't score on all those passing downs. I think that's where, for me, that's where my opinion turns on how much they ran versus how much they passed.
You got that stat? You got the stat line up? You
For
got
what?
the stat line for the game. The stat line. Can you tell me what the time of possession was? Baltimore to Detroit.
Yes, it was 33 minutes to 26 minutes in favor of the Lions.
So on average, that's about two possessions more than the Ravens had on average.
On average, yeah.
About two more possessions than the Ravens had.
About two more, maybe no more than three.
No, maybe no more than three.
Yeah, I'd say about
and maybe and if they had a successful running drive, I mean, you know, we're talking about them maybe having a 9-minute drive or a 95-yard drive, something similar to what the Lions had in the early in the game.
If they were able, right? If they were
successful, obviously they have to be successful. Obviously, they have to be successful, but even the attempts make you just to make the defense
the opportunities, right?
Yeah, right. All I'm saying is that in my mental mind, regardless of the points you were scoring, is stupid. There's no point in scoring all the points if the other team can just score points against you. It's useless to score the points if you can't stop them from scoring.
So I get it. I think the in your mind, the right way to approach it. So let's say, okay, second half, you realize, okay, we ain't running the ball all that much, but we got the passing game going. It's 14-14. Both teams are kind of, going back and forth, whatever, right? So at that moment in the game, third quarter, establish the run game. Establish some sort of run game. Get some carries going. Chew up some clock. That part, yes. I can understand.
Maybe the offense get cold. Maybe the offense gets cold if you get a long drive. Maybe the defense figures something out when they sitting on the bench looking at film. It's not like Detroit was up and you had to throw the ball because you was a touchdown or 10 points down. It was just they just made a decision because they could get it. They would do it, but it's like
I get it.
In the third quarter, you can give your defense a chance to stop them if the running game don't work.
Sure. Now, we had possession of the ball to open the second half. We scored on that drive. Mm-hmm. So we went up 21-14. We went up 21-14. And then Detroit turns around and they have that 95-yard, drive, and then they tie it up 21-21.
Right. So it's just it really from my vantage point, it really just leans more into my agenda. And sure, I'm biased because I never raised my voice about it. But at that stage of the game, it's still a 0-0 ball game then.
Right.
It's still a 0-0 ball game. Why not just go to what you're good at? It was no need to passing eventually is like, okay, we need passing connotates we need to press the issue. We need to press the issue.
Right. And Detroit, and like I said earlier, Detroit adjusted because like I said, they instead of doing the whole, rush 5, rush 6, they dropped back like 5-6 guys. It was a 4-man rush, sometimes a 3-man rush, and then sometimes a guy to spy on Lamar. So they adjusted to our pass game at that point in the game, and the Ravens offensively they couldn't adjust back to that. And I think the more I think about it, the more I'm realizing the next possession, maybe the next couple of possessions after that first drive stalled, that they needed to start revving it up again. Hey, let's try to get some run game going. Let's try to, let's try something else other than just trying to kill them, through the air. So I can.
it sounds like because the secondary is the weakest unit of their team, that the Baltimore Ravens, Ted Monken, whoever, they got greedy. They got greedy. They tried to prove that they were the big dogs, and they were the big dogs in this conversation. That goes back to the conversation we had last week. They were trying to prove, let's put our stamp on this game. Let's prove we can win in a shootout. This game didn't have to be 30-38. It could have been 24-27, and Derrick Henry could have got his carries, and y'all probably would have got the win.
Yep, we could have. Or if the Lions, continue to, stuff the run, sell out or whatever. If that continued, then yes, so be it, right? Like so be it. They stuffed our run, so be it. And at that point, if you think it ain't working on the ground, then what was the other avenue at that point?
But let's be honest. But let's be honest though. What they weren't stuffing the run. That's A. And B, what are the odds that any defense in the NFL can legitimately shut the Baltimore Ravens run game down for the summation of an entire game? What are the odds? They're low. Them odds are very, very, very low. Them odds are very low.
Okay. Now, for just a little bit more context here, that touchdown I talked about, the first touchdown, the Derrick Henry touchdown. 20, it was 28. So I actually undersold it, right? So, you're talking about what did I say? 12 carries, 50 yards?
Yep. So now you're talking about 11 carries minus 28. I'm sorry, 50 minus 28, which would be
so 11 carries. So 11 carries for 22 yards, right?
Okay. So let's be clear but then if you're gonna throw that statistic there, which is sure, that's fine and that's fair.
Okay.
But we understand that Derrick Henry is a home run hitter.
If you get him right, if you get him going, then yes.
So
if you keep trying to run.
It comes with volume.
It
comes with volume.
Sure.
So let's say every 12 carries he gets you 50 yards. That's 24 for 100.
Sure.
Like come on, Trey.
Nah, sure. But
yeah.
I mean, look, it again, it's not like after that touchdown, it's not like it's like, they went like cold, like they went cold on the run game. Like it's not like they didn't.
But they did though. All I'm saying is they did, Trey. They did. There is not this is a running team. A running team should not have under 20 carries.
Sure. Yeah, I get it. I think the way this game went, I think that was the decision to make.
Sure.
And if you want to call it stupid, I think
I am.
There's certain parts of it that I disagree with that's being stupid, but I think if they are not successful early in the passing game, meaning they don't score touchdowns with them early in this game, then it's out of whack. It's stupid. Then I would side with you there that it's stupid to keep trying to, throw the score and you're not scoring. I would agree with you there that would be stupid.
Okay.
But the fact that they did, it's like, all right, okay, cool. But I agree with you where you say, okay, I think you needed to run more when it was 21-21. And maybe it doesn't get to 28-21, 28-24, and then you get the fumble, and then now the game is out of reach at that point. So I get you there. So
Understood.
I get you there.
Understood. I guess we have officially got ourselves the quick hitters. That was a robust and flavorful no homo conversation.
It's been a while since we had one of those.
Yeah. Rest in peace to Rudy Johnson. I saw that on Twitter. Twitter today. Cincinnati Bengals running back. It's interesting for me because those are some of the running backs you grow up with. Not necessarily but he it was one of the times where he was a top 5 back, but not you don't think about Rudy Johnson and think Hall of Fame or none of those things. You just think solid running back. But he was one of those running backs we grew up with. For certain, rest in peace, rest in paradise, Rudy Johnson, and condolences and prayers to his family and everybody affected.
Yeah, and I think another part of the reason why you didn't look at him in that light in terms of a top five back or
No,
and
no, I
just a solid
did.
back, huh?
I did when he was in his prime. Like
Oh,
even
okay, my fault,
I
my
did.
fault.
I'm just saying
Mhm.
that you don't look like when you look at a running back with that type of production for, and that was like a 5-year run, maybe. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Then the conversation should be about Hall of Famer, maybe not. You know what I'm saying? But Rudy Johnson has never been in those types of conversations about maybe not. Those types of things. And but he was definitely one of those backs that you just gotta you grew up with. I grew up with Rudy
Yeah,
Johnson.
I pulled the stats up. I was just because
Yeah,
I was just thinking about, but what I was gonna say was he was on those teams with Chad and TJ
yeah,
and
right.
Carson Palmer, so
After Corey,
they were
after Corey Dillon.
after Corey Dillon, right? So you didn't really think of Rudy Johnson as like the focal point because it was Chad on one side and it was TJ
Right.
on the other side. Chris
Yeah.
Henry, rest in peace,
Right.
was
Rest in
kind of
peace.
sprinkled in there a little bit also. So you didn't really think of Rudy as that. But I mean, I got to tell you, those 3 years, '04, '05, and '06,
Yeah.
over 1,300 yards rushing in each
Yeah.
of those,
Every year. Right.
1,454, 1,458, and then 1,309 in those 3 years consecutively. And then I guess he had a stint with the Lions. I didn't even know that, but
Yeah. Yeah. I remember. I remember.
oh, okay, yeah. Oh, that was their 0-16 year,
Oh, and
but
16. Yeah.
yeah. So, but yeah, rest in peace to
Rest in peace for sure.
Rudy Johnson. That kind of threw me off guard with all the news that was coming out today and
Yeah.
stuff. So yeah. I just got a couple of W notes, man. First off, congrats to Asia Wilson on winning her fourth league MVP award.
Yeah.
It was a two-person race between Fee and Asia. And Maestro, I know you haven't been following the league, at least the back half of the league pretty much. But Asia Wilson to me won this MVP because of a 16-game win streak by the Aces to end the regular season, jumping from being the number 7 seed to the number 2 seed in the playoff standings. The Lynx have been great all throughout the season, being at number 1 for pretty much the entire year. And it's like the conversation we had when Megan was on, where what she was kind of saying, well, just because you miss several games and just because the team wins without you, you shouldn't really take that into account, or that shouldn't be a factor into whether a person should not be the lead for MVP or not. Not that I disagree, because I think it's kind of silly also,
I
but
told you I
I will
disagree.
say, but I will say that I do think I think the voters take that factor into consideration. And
Yeah.
some media members might say it's stupid, and that's cool, but I tend to think that the voters look at that and they say,
Of
well,
course. If
the
they
Lynx,
didn't, we won't go because you won't go as far as to say you don't need them, but you would definitely say, okay, this team was a good team whether she played or didn't play.
yeah, right. But when you look at the Aces, I mean, the Aces, the first half of the year, they were struggling, bro. Like
Yeah.
they was 14-14, and they just got beat by 50 points by that same Lynx team. And then ever since that moment on, they rattled off the 16 straight wins. One of which was head to head against Fee. And Asia, I think, dropped like 30-12 or something like that. And Fee, I think, had like 12 points.
Yeah, she needed her get back.
Those and look again, it's silly, but I think those things matter when the voters have to put their ballots up to say, yo, look at this head to head, look at what she did without, look at what her team did without her, look at the run, look at the second half. Like I think all those things,
Yeah.
I think the voters take that stuff seriously. And I'm not trying to throw shade on Fee or none of that, because I think she's an absolute great player for the league. I mean, she's the second person to 50, what is it, 50, 40, 90? Is that the term? 50% field goal 40% 3-point,
90%
and 90% free throws. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's the second person in the league in the history to do that. And I think you know who the first person to do that was. It was Deladon with your Mystics in 2019.
No, I didn't know
okay.
that.
Well, there you go. There you go. You learned something,
Thank
bro.
you for that. Thank you for
Yeah,
that.
come on, man. Learn something tonight.
Yeah,
but yeah, congrats to Asia Wilson on her fourth MVP, which is now she broke the record for most MVPs, in the league. So, and she's 29 years old, and they look like they about to get they're like they about to win another championship. So
shout out to Asia Wilson. Shout out to the Aces, man.
Yeah.
I did scroll past the Bam bringing her the trophy and all that. So yeah, shout out to Asia Wilson and the Aces.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt. Yeah, just one last thing. I want to shout out Breanna Stewart too, because as folks may know out there, the Liberty got bounced out of the first round. In my opinion, as a fan, I think the season was a failure because now we don't have the opportunity to repeat as champions. There was all a bunch of injuries throughout the year. Finally got healthy at the back end of the season. We were the 5 seed, so we didn't have home court. Won the first game and then dropped the next 2 to get bounced out by the Mercury. Breanna Stewart in that game 3, in that decisive, winner take all game 3. I mean, she dropped 30 in that game, but she dropped 12 out of the teams. No, she was the only one to score in that whole fourth quarter when we were trying to, get the win there. And this is her playing on a bum leg because she had sprained the MCL in game 1, played in game 2, and then played in game 3 where she dropped the 30, but it just wasn't enough. So I just want to give her flowers for, kind of toughing it out when, she was really the only one in the fourth quarter when you really need, your others to kind of, do some extra stuff. She laid it out there, man. She did what she did. Go ahead. I know you want to say something crazy.
No,
Go ahead.
I don't. Hey, man, shout out to Breanna Stewart, man. Last thing I want to do on this platform right now is seem like I'm shitting on women playing basketball, because that's the last thing I want to do. So shout out to Breanna Stewart, man.
Mm-hmm.
But your commentary tickles the shit out of me.
Why?
Cause I
know what it is, because you really don't have a response to it. I get it.
I don't have a response, nigga. Who you talking to, nigga? I always have a response. Let's be clear.
Yeah, okay.
That's
okay.
First and foremost. You caught me dozing off one night, nigga. I always got a response, nigga. It's like, what you talking to, nigga?
Okay. I mean, that ain't the only time. That ain't the only time. But go ahead.
At the end of the day, it sounds like you're praising her for a participation trophy. That's what it sounds like, and that's not to
because of the injury. Because she played on the sprained MCL.
Shout out to her. I'm not saying she don't deserve quote unquote flowers, but if the goal was the championship and that wasn't achieved, hey, salute to the attempt, bro. But that's in a participation trophy.
Oh no, listen, it's a failure whether.
All right, so just leave it at that. We'll leave it at that then. We'll leave it at that then.
Why? But why gotta leave it at that? But why gotta leave it at that?
It seemed like you was glazing Breanna Stewart. It seemed like you was glazing it. That's what it seemed like. It's just because she did something phenomenal. She played injured and she performed phenomenally injured. But at the end of the day, she didn't win.
Okay, that's
salute.
That's a fact.
So as I'm not saying
right.
Don't salute. I'm just uncomfortable with the amount of glazing you was doing to her, and she lost.
So she doesn't deserve.
I didn't say anything about deserving. I said I am.
Oh, so what is your?
Hold on. I'm saying I am uncomfortable. That was my exact word. With the amount, that was also my exact word, of glazing that you're doing. I'm not saying don't give her a props. It seemed like you was glazing her is all I'm saying.
With the amount or the fact that I gave her flowers?
I very said uncomfortable with the amount of glazing that you were doing for Breonna Stewart. She deserves the they lost.
Shout out to her for playing on a sprained
That's
MCL
all you had.
and
That's all
dropping
you had
30
to say.
points.
That's all you had to say.
But ain't that what I said?
That's not all you said. That's not all you said. You said a lot more.
What? Like what?
You can rewind the tape. You can rewind the tape on your free time.
No,
you can rewind the tape on you can rewind the tape on your free time.
No, I need you to tell me what else I said. Because
Dog, I don't be listening when you do that. You can rewind the tape on your free time.
So now you're saying you don't be listening, but you can't prove to me that I said something else other than
giving her for a reason. I chuckled for a reason.
Okay,
that was why I chuckled, because I was uncomfortable with the amount of glazing that you were doing to Breonna Stewart. I tuned that shit out.
Keyword amount.
I said amount. I always said amount. I didn't say don't give her props. I never said that.
But what's the amount? Because
I would implore you to look at the tape.
Shout out to Breonna Stewart for
that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
For playing on a sprained MCL, dropping 30 points in a game 3 closeout game.
That's it. Say less.
But that's what I
okay,
said.
Bro. All right, now we circling. I heard you.
Because you throwing stuff out there, and it's like, wait a minute, what glazing are you talking about here?
Right, and we already.
I didn't go on about nobody else. I didn't go on.
There was nobody else to go on.
This stuff. Exactly. So why are you saying?
I would implore you to review the game tape, sir. That's why I didn't want to say it to begin with, because I knew you was going to get right back here. That's why I didn't want to say it to begin with.
Boy, you.
Hey, man, I'm not here to stress you out, bro. I love you.
Boy,
I'm not. That's why I didn't want to say nothing. That's why I didn't want to say nothing.
You are some work tonight.
I didn't want to say nothing, and you was like, "No, say it." Oh, you don't got no response, and then you challenged me after I said I was going to take the high road, and then you challenged me. Like
no, and I'm like. But you said the amount of glazing, and I'm like,
no. I'm talking about no. See, now you losing me. I said,
how?
I chuckled, and you said, what you got to say? And I said, nothing. I don't want to seem like I'm shitting on a player. And then you said,
right.
and then you implored, and then you pushed me to say what my thoughts were, because you wanted me to say what my thoughts were. That's fine.
Right. Because I was saying, because you didn't have a response for it.
But I did have a response, and that was a challenge, as opposed to letting me take the high road, which I said I wanted to do. You implored me to take the low road.
But then you said,
you could have just let me. You could
commentary. But then you said something about the commentary.
Right, but that was after you said I don't have a response. All I was asking to do was let me take the high road. We can end the pod. We already yelled and argued for the pod. Let's just end it on this note. I literally said nothing, bro. I don't want to take it there. You ain't got no response. Yo, just let me be. Let me be. If you and
I left that, but my response
was did not leave it. You told me I didn't have a response. You challenged me, is what you did.
Okay.
You challenged me, is what you did.
I was asking you, what did you mean by the word amount? You said
that was
you said I am tickled by your commentary by the amount of glazing that you're doing. So my response to that is,
Trey, that was long after I said, never mind, I don't want to talk about it. That was long after.
Okay. I was just trying to get an understanding of why you said
it was no need
amount.
But I didn't know. What I'm saying is that I didn't even say after you said you don't have a response, that's when I said I am tickled by the amount of glazing you're doing. If you never would have told me I didn't have a response, I never would have said anything. You saying I don't have a response is a challenge to me saying, nigga, because I also said after that, nigga, who you talking to? I always got a response.
Right, and I backed off, and I was like, okay,
that was not
cool. But my only response was to when you said the amount. I'm tickled by the amount of glazing that you're giving on this subject, and
I would implore you to review the game tape. Is what I said after that,
and. Okay,
that's what I said after that.
But if you can't tell me that, then.
But I also told you why I couldn't tell you.
But you just okay. So just throw stuff out there, and
This is
know,
the
not
Barbershop
backing up.
Sports Talk podcast. I can throw what the
Well,
fuck I want to throw out, and it
oh,
don't
oh,
have to
okay.
be right.
Oh, okay.
You
So
know
I could. Oh, okay. So I could do the same shit. Okay.
I ain't never told you couldn't. You do it all
Okay.
the time.
Okay. All right. Hey, just so we clear, man. Just so we clear, man.
See, you the nigga that be wanting to come in here with, oh, my stats are 100% correct because I vetted it and I did it. Nigga, I talk sports regardless, nigga, because I'm a sports nigga.
Okay. I'm a sports nigga too. What?
All right, then,
Like,
so we don't need no ESPN. I don't need to know what the exact stats, nigga. I can look at a game regardless of the stats and tell you exactly what the fuck happened. Exactly like we just did with the Lion Ravens game.
okay, sure. But I'm gonna do my thing. You do your thing, bro.
All right, say less. So that's why we're a good team.
Yep.
But I'm going to, nigga. I'm not, nigga. I don't have a response. That was a challenge.
Okay. For the record, I was just having fun.
Hey man, we are having. Oh, you don't think we having fun?
Oh, I know we having fun.
Oh,
I was.
So why you?
I was just talking about.
Then?
No. I was just talking about that particular thing. Like I was just strictly just talking about that.
All this is fun to me, dog. All this shit is fun to me.
Oh, it's fun to me too, bro.
All right, if it's fun, then we having fun.
We good. Hey man, nah. Look, it's past 9 o'clock. We good, man. We
that Thursday night. Hey, capitalize that T next time, bro.
Oh, I was gonna say you ain't talking to me. Hey, bro. Hey, bro. You ain't talking to me because I ain't typed this up. There's a lot of things that could be capitalized on this thing, but
that's a fact.
I ain't about to go there, but yeah, let's rap about this one. Seahawks in Arizona. Both teams are 2-1. I think we talked about it earlier. James Conner is gone for the year.
Yeah, give me Seattle, man. Come on, man. Give me Seattle, man.
All right, that's what's up. I'm gonna go Cardinals on the upset, man. I'm gonna think Darnold gonna throw 3 interceptions, man. I'm gonna go there. All right. Vikings and Steelers. Oh, okay. I know where you're going with it.
Say less.
I know exactly where you're going with it.
Say less.
Yeah.
Here we go, Steelers.
Yeah, I'm Brian Flores, yo. This is a Brian Flores game for me. Brian Flores know Aaron Rodgers' habits, so I'm gonna go with the Vikings on this one in a low scoring game. By the way, it's gonna be low scoring. You're gonna think your defense did a great job. It's gonna be a low scoring game right here. Let's talk about I was about to call them the Redskins. Commanders at the Falcons, who got their ass whooped by the Panthers on Sunday, 30-0.
Shout out to the Pantherettes. What up? Hey, y'all got one, baby. What we doing?
Hey, and a shutout too. A shutout, man.
I don't know what the fuck going on with the Falcons.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on either, man. But Raheem on the hot seat. And I don't like that for him, but I think he's on the hot seat. Look, man, I'm going Commanders here, even with Mariota doing what he did last week. I'm going with the Commanders here. Give me the Buffalo Bills over the Saints. Ain't nothing to talk about there. Give me the Lions over the Browns. Texans and Titans. The Texans do not look good, bro. Like,
they don't. They don't struggle like some shit.
Yeah, that offensive line looked like some trash.
Facts, but I'm still gonna take the Texans in this game.
I'll take the Texans because they need to win. They can't afford to go 0-4. I mean, they can't afford to be where they at now. But
yeah, exactly. I'll take the Texans because I trust CJ Stroud more than I trust Cam Ward. It's that simple for me.
Let's see, Panthers and the Patriots. I will take I'm gonna take the Patriots.
I'm gonna take the Panthers. I don't know if it's an upset. I don't think it's an upset, but I'm gonna take the Panthers just because they hot right now. I'll take.
They too evenly teams. I'm gonna go Patriots, and I'm just gonna say I think they correct all those mistakes there. Chargers and the Giants. Jackson Dart is going to get the start, but it's not going to be enough. I'm going to pick the Chargers. Eagles and the Buccaneers. I'm going to go with the Eagles because Mike Evans ain't gonna play. He ain't gonna play for probably another 3-4 weeks. Bucks, been skinning by the grin of their teeth. I'm going with the Eagles, man.
Yeah, I'll take the Eagles.
All right. Another test for the Colts. Shout out to them for last week too. Going up against the Rams. I'm gonna take the Rams just because they're at home.
I'm gonna take the Rams because they're the better team.
All right. Jacksonville at the Niners. I think a couple notes here. Nick Bosa's gone for the year.
Yep, get well soon.
It seemed like the Niners are kind of running on fumes. Like they haven't necessarily been kind of lighting it up and stuff.
No,
they got some injuries and all that.
They're not the same team, and like I said, like we discussed last week, they'll be a decent team. They'll be a well coached team. But that Super Bowl window shit, that shit is closed. That's where I stand.
Do you think Jacksonville is savvy enough to get this win?
No.
That's the point I was trying to get to. It's like I still like the 49ers in this game because I just don't trust the Jaguars right now, even though they 2-1. But I'm going 49ers. You going 49ers too?
Yeah,
I assume. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Give me the Ravens over the Chiefs. They just gotta bounce back, man. They just gotta find a way.
The Chiefs also need to bounce back, and now this is this is a battle of somebody trying to cut the head off and another team trying to keep their head from being cut off. I'm going to take the Chiefs because the Chiefs can't afford to have their head cut off.
And look at what their division is doing. I mean, you got two other good teams there. Yep. And the North is just one other good team there. Yep. So Chiefs definitely need it more. But the Ravens need to bounce back from last night. Bears at the Raiders.
I'm taking the Bears.
Okay, I'll take the Raiders. Sure. I mean, this is really like a pick 'em for real.
Sure, but I like the Bears and that win against Dallas last week.
Yeah,
give me the Bears.
Everybody beats Dallas these days. At least on defense, they do. At least on defense. So the Packers and
they smoking Dallas. Let's get that
out
of the way.
Yeah, for sure.
Micah Parsons gonna have his 18 sacks.
For sure. I mean, they're gonna get their boots smoked by 40 at the very minimum. But Green Bay, like against Cleveland, y'all, like that wasn't cool, man. That wasn't cool.
Anomaly. They gotta lose a game in a year. That's the game to lose.
It was the way they lost it, though. I don't know if you paid attention. It was the way they lost it.
I mean, it was a 10-13 game, bro. There's no way. I'm not sure about the way you're right. I don't know how it happened. I know any game with a Green Bay Packers score 10 points in September, I can look that off.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, if you win and you score 10, if you're Green Bay, you happy to get out there with a dub. But the way they lost this game, the score was 10-0 with 3 minutes left in the game.
Okay.
Jordan Love turnover.
Yeah.
I think a block on special teams caused the Browns to get 13 quick points.
Yeah, anomaly. Anomaly.
Yeah, for sure. The way it happened is an anomaly.
Yeah.
But I mean, you had that right there. That doesn't right there.
That doesn't.
Now, if it was 10-13 from the second quarter, I look at that game a little bit differently than I do if you.
Special teams turnovers are things that rarely happen. Those are freak incidents, if you will.
For sure.
Again, anomaly. I'm not putting a whole bunch of stock in that.
No, I'm not either. But you don't lose that.
That's the type of sure you do. That's the when freak things happen.
Mm-hmm.
Special, like you said, special teams. That's the if you're gonna lose a game, that's the game you lose. A game in the AFC again in September where nothing is really set in stone. That's the game. That's the game to lose. That's the game to lose.
Good perspective. Good perspective right there. All right. Jets at the Dolphins. I will take. I'm gonna pick
I
them. I'm
take
gonna
the
go
Jets.
Jets. Yeah, me
Yeah, I go
too.
Jets.
I'll go Jets.
How many
And
games do
then
the Dolphins have to lose for Mike McDaniels to get fired?
honestly, I was expecting an announcement this week.
No. Okay.
I ain't gonna
Okay.
lie to you, bro.
Yeah.
I was expecting something to come out today
Right.
or sometime this week. But
Right.
look, if you lose to the Jets, if you're Miami, then I gotta think it's the hammer's coming next week.
Pause.
Yeah, for real. That sounded crazy, but I gotta think that he gonna be out the door if you lose to the Jets. I mean, both teams are 0-3, but look, if the Jets lose, Aaron Glenn ain't going nowhere.
Yeah,
Miami
obviously.
lose. McDaniel, get your ass up out of here, man. Like,
So if
let
they
me move
lose,
on.
he's fired by Tuesday. Miami.
Yeah, I think he's
Okay.
fired. I think he's fired before the next game happens,
Okay.
for sure.
All right.
All right. Bengals at the Broncos in Denver. I'm gonna take the
Broncos.
Broncos
Yep.
in this game for sure. So there's your week. What, week number 4?
Week number 4. Yep.
Week number 4, man. All right, folks. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Quick shout out to the folks watching us on Instagram Live. I see my guy CJ Harton. That's Courtney Harton right there.
Yes, sir.
Got our boy Sharif up in there. Appreciate
What
you.
up, my boy?
Tank 07. My guy Tiante, with his parlays and best bets and
Yes,
all types
sir.
of stuff. I saw you in the YouTube live chat, putting out them bets and all that. Appreciate that. Shout out to the wifey in the chat as well. Shout out to C Zulu 801 watching us on Instagram Live, and continue to follow us there as well, folks. Also, we got the Facebook page, we got Instagram, we got Twitter at Barbershop SPOR2. Also follow us on the Facebook page and on Twitch. If you got questions, comments, hit us up on the show. Hit us up on the email at barbershopsportstalk1@gmail.com. And if you want to, check this out on the audio side, Google Play, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts is where you can stream us at on the audio side. Also, write us a review and let us know what you think about the show. It definitely goes a long way. So, brother, if you got nothing else, man, love, peace, and happiness to everybody out there tuning in. We got a dope one next week. And as always, folks, as we'd like to say, mind your damn business.
Drink some water.
Oh yeah, we got him. Trey, Frazier, and Maestro Styles, we got one. Right back like we left something. We don't duck smoke, we want all of it. So line them up, Trey sharp with the blade, we sizing it up. I'm quick to catch the fade, Styles making the cut. Cause we coming out clean every time that we showing up.